is the discussion about the dewatering wells off of Key Lock and down to North Valley Park. And so we did find a contractor to do, first of all, basically a rotor-rooter job on those from the bottom all the way through. We've already done that work.
That's North Valley?
North Valley Park,
Yep.
yes. That's where the conduit all ends up in a box. And we then proceeded with the video surveillance of as many of those as we could. I could put on for you a 60-minute video showing you what that was like to have the little probe go up the pipes, but I won't bore you with that. You can stop by my office or I'll send it to you. And so we did look at those. Several of those were, let's see, of the 6, 3 of them were blocked within 10 to 20 feet of that exit into that box. One of them did go as far as 300 feet up that horizontal drain line that you saw, and the other ones stopped somewhere in between. So there is a need for reclamation on those horizontal lines. I think there seems to be some indication of dirt infiltration and other blockages, either full collapse of those pipes or something else. So the item that you'll see later on under 3C is a proposal by a contractor to go in and basically dig those lines out, figure out what needs to be repaired, and to make the repairs so that those drains actually function properly as they were originally designed.
Okay. And that was, what did we call that? Is it like hydroblasting or?
Well, we did the hydroblasting. That's to me the rotor-rooter job on the thing.
Right.
It uses water, a water jet.
Right.
One of them was actually had to be cut off inside the pipe because it got stuck on some of the bolts that are adjoining the pieces of the segments of pipe. And so they actually had to cut the hydrojet off and abandon it inside one of the conduits because it was stuck and unable to be pulled back out. Okay. So yeah, so that was done and as successfully as possible.
Okay. And my very last question is, who is the general manager of the GAD now? Actually,
it is one of the scopes for the engineering for CSG that we did the engineering services contract a couple of months ago. So we do have somebody in that role. It's part of their scope of work.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I think I have questions for staff, but we could address that when we get to 3C. So.
I guess we don't have any other questions. Thank you very much. Okay, now I'll continue this meeting until after our regular city council meeting, and we'll call the city council meeting to order in just a second.
All right, in the interest of time, thank you everyone for being patient. We had a GAD meeting scheduled at 6:30. I see that this is a popular meeting, so we'll try to proceed forthwith. We're gonna take a 2-minute break until the meeting actually starts while we roll over the video feed so we can capture it correctly. So if everyone will be patient, that would be great. Thank you.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Thank you for your patience. We're just pausing while our council member returns. She excused herself for a moment.
Done. Anybody have a joke?
We're not allowed to joke.
Here she comes.
I know.
Recording in progress.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. It is 7:08, and I will call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Thank you,
Please
Mayor.
call the roll.
Left to right. Councilmember Diaz,
Yes, present.
Vice Mayor Vice Mayor Nia, Mayor Juan,
I'm here.
Councilmember Trupiano,
I'm here.
Councilmember Tillman.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Excellent. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would join.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see. Thank you. The first item, or the next item is public comment on non-agenda items. If anyone has a comment that is not on the agenda or regarding an item that's not on the agenda tonight, now's your time. We have speaker cards, or you can raise your hand. No pressure. Perfect. All right, Mr. Miller.
I'd be more than willing to defer to after if you still want to do it, we could change the order, you could do all your honorariums and get these people out. But I'd be more than happy to sit for that.
Sure. I think we should go now so that we don't have to continue and do it out of order. So if you would oblige, that would be great.
Okay, my name's Glenn Miller,
Microphone.
quickly.
If you could turn the microphone on, that would be great. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, right there, thank you. Yeah, the obvious part. Well, wait till I put these on and then I'll be able to see it. Well, thank you for letting me make a presentation. You've been given some pictures. Unfortunately, you don't get them in color, and I apologize. It's very ironic that the jihad guy said, well, we don't pay attention to non-residential areas, and I'm going to demonstrate why. You look at the first picture. Look at that pipe. That pipe that's bent over is the pipeline indicator for the high-pressure pipeline. The slope's moving. The slope's moving bad. You can look at the inclinometer. There are inclinometers all over that slope, and it's moving badly. You should monitor it. You should take care of it. And it's a real safety hazard. The second picture, if you turn it 90 degrees this way, you can get a pretty good idea. This is what's called sloughing. This is the embankment along this segment of the road. There's several of these. This blocks the curb and gutter. It's a stormwater pollution prevention violation. It needs to be taken care of. It needs to be addressed. You had to do it again last year, and you got to do it already again this year. The third picture is just to show you how the fire hazard here of all the debris, all the grasses, that's just right against the road. Somebody flicks a cigarette. Somebody drops a chain accidentally, sparks from some vehicle. You got real problems, and you need to address this right away. It is really a big hazard. The last picture is a blow up of that area. I want you to all look at this real carefully and identify where the V ditch is and the drop drain inlet. Here you are, folks. You can't, it isn't there. I've sent this picture to council members, to former administrative service people, to former city manager for over 3 or 4 years. It's not been cleaned out. It failed once a couple of years ago, or about 3 years ago, and it's going to fail again. And so you need to address it. This is a safety hazard, a really, really big safety hazard. I have I don't practice anymore, but I have a degree in soils mechanics, so I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. You've got a real slope problem, number one. You got a real fire problem, number two, and you got a real stormwater prevention problem, number three. And I'm just bringing this to the council's attention. You can do nothing about it. That's fine. But it is a problem. It is a violation, too, of some laws, state laws. Is that okay?
Thank you. If there's any other public comment on non-agenda items? Seeing none, I will close item number 3. Next is our consent calendar. However, we're going to change the order a little bit because I think that this may be a popular item. Next is the recognitions and presentations, item 5A. And this is the certificates of recognition for students for the Do the Right Thing program. And I will turn the floor over to Councilmember Tillman.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to grab the portable microphones, so I'm going to switch to those. Hold on. We have to put them up to our mouth? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, great. I'm going to first have Vice Principal Romo come on up from Mount Diablo Elementary School, and there are a lot of new faces in here today. So I'll just give you a little brief history of the Do the Right Thing program. This was started about 10 years ago by Mayor Hank Stratford, and we have, what's wrong? Oh, it's okay. We have several character traits that we observe throughout the school year. You can see them right down here on this, what do you call that? It's not a poster, banner. Thank you. It's been a long work day. On the banner, so we observe or recognize inclusion, courage, integrity, kindness, respect, responsibility, and self-discipline. And self-discipline is the one that we will be recognizing, and that's usually these are given out for January and February, and we give them out in March. But we're going to pretend like it's March even though it's April 21st. So first up, we have Harlan Costa. And I'll...
His mom can come. Harlan. All right, Harlan is in Miss Lovejoy's kindergarten class. And Miss Lovejoy had this to say about Harlan. Harlan is a wonderful friend who shows great self-discipline every single day in our classroom. Harlan listens carefully when the teacher talks, sits nicely during circle time, and always tries her best to follow our classroom rules. When it is time to clean up, Harlan helps put the toys away without being asked, and Harlan uses kind words with friends. Harlan makes our classroom a happy and peaceful place because of all these good choices. Congratulations, Harlan.
Congratulations. William Howard.
All right, next I'm going to bring up Miss Brown to present the award to William Howard.
Hi, William. I was so excited when I got my classroom roster back in August and I saw that I had a Howard on my list because I worked with Mrs. Howard, his grandma, before she retired from Mount Diablo Elementary School. And what I found out is that her grandson is a delightful young man. I nominated you for self-discipline for Mount Diablo Elementary School. You consistently make positive choices in our classroom and on the playground. You are very resilient and hardworking. You complete your homework and your classwork on time. You're a very eager reader. You take a lot of pride in taking your weekly AR quizzes and on your home reading books. You always come up to me in class, look, I passed another quiz, Mrs. Brown. Usually 100%. He follows directions in all of our school rules. He is very well liked. He has many friends because you know why? You're friendly and you're respectful. You're a gift to our classroom, Mr. William Howard. Congratulations. Mom and
Oh, I wasn't even looking over there. Sorry.
Go over there.
there's Mom.
Congratulations. Giovanna Banchero.
All right, next up we have Giovanna Banchero. Come on up.
Oh, she's right in front.
You can do it.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Giovanna's in our Miss Beber's first grade class, and she said, I would like to nominate Giovanna for self-discipline. She works hard and is always on task and does her schoolwork before engaging in choice activities. Giovanna is a joy to have in the classroom. Congratulations. Many. Yes. All right, and our last one is Sammy Garvin. Come on up.
Congratulations.
Sammy is in Miss Keogh's 5th grade class, and she had this to say about Sammy. Sammy's sweet smile and easygoing nature are two things that are most readily apparent when it comes to her personality in class. However, under that is a dedicated student. She is a great listener and follows directions well. Sammy always seems to know what to do and can stick to her timelines. I don't think I've ever had to give her reminders or manage her on time and using it productively. I can see her anywhere in class, and she won't let the socialization effect work her habits, which is a 5th grade task, let's say. She is always prepared and ready to go. 5th grade requires a lot of discipline as we prepare the students for the increasing amount of independence, as well as navigating the academic and social aspects that will be required in middle school. Self-discipline is a key tool to have in order to manage all of that. Sammy seems to have it while keeping a smile on her face, as you see, and finding balance in her school life and social life. I am lucky to have Sammy in my class. Congratulations. Picture. Thank you.
I know I saw Principal Romo. There you are. Hi. Wilson. Come on down. Should call you by the name that you're given, though. Here you go. All right, so from Diablo View Middle School, I will give it to you, and we have Hunter Goza.
First. All right. So, Hunter, come on up, buddy.
Congratulations.
Hunter was nominated by Miss Reinauer, and she says this. So, Hunter is a great student. He's kind and respectful to his peers and adults alike. But what really sets him apart is his self-discipline. Hunter sometimes misses my class to go see Miss Zaya. but he seamlessly transitions back into what he missed as soon as he returns. He is great about asking questions when he doesn't understand something, and he is always on task with the materials he needs. I'm so proud of all that Hunter has accomplished this year. Congratulations, Hunter. This award is well deserved. Good job, buddy. I think Mom wants to get a picture. Joshua, right?
Yes.
Joshua Descalza.
Congratulations.
Joshua's nominated by Miss Parker, and Miss Parker says this: Joshua is so hardworking. He is always down to business and completes his work with diligence. Even if he's struggling, he won't give up. He stays on tasks and always goes that extra mile. He takes a lot of self-discipline to master those areas, especially as a 7th grader, and he just shines. So congratulations. Good job, Josh.
Want to get a photo?
Oh. And Josh is gone. Come here, Josh. See you, Josh. And last but not least, Emma Callejon.
Aw. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Congratulations, Emma. Emma was nominated by Mr. Tebe, and he says this: I nominated Emma for Do the Right Thing Award for Self-Discipline because she is highly motivated and consistently demonstrates remarkable control over her choices. Whether facing academic challenges or peer distractions, Emma chooses focus, responsibility, and integrity every single day. She sets high standards for herself and has great organizational skills in maintaining an orderly notebook, keeping materials, and coming to class prepared. Emma quietly leads by example in our classroom. Her self-discipline is steady, genuine, and inspiring to everyone she meets. Congratulations. I know Dad wants to get a picture.
Mayor, I will turn it back over to you. Do you want to invite everyone to stay while we do the other presentations? I think that they should for a few minutes. Yeah. Are we going to go back to the officers now? Or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
we could. It's great to do the presentations first. We get all the good stuff. We get all the good stuff in the beginning. All right, so for our new officers, you get a large audience. That concludes item 5A. Next is 5B, the introduction and swearing-in ceremony of 2 new police officers. I believe I'm handing this over to our police chief.
At this
And
age, it wouldn't surprise
If I
me.
could just, as a small city, we have very few officers compared to some larger cities, but they are a very dedicated force, and it's important that, especially for our younger folks, to know the officers in their community. So it's great. You can see 2 of our new officers here today.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, council, public, family. It's an honor this evening to introduce you to 2 new Clayton police officers. And it's exciting. I've been here for just a short time now, and it's exciting to welcome 2 new officers to our agency and to this department and to our community. So I'm going to have the 2 gentlemen please come forward. And if you can stand off over there and face the audience. So I'd like to introduce you to 2 fine gentlemen that have joined the Clayton Police Department. All right, you guys good over there? All right, okay. First is Officer Jake McPherson. I'll share a little with you about Jake. Officer McPherson, who goes by Jake, grew up in Vacaville, California. A multi-sport athlete, he competed in wrestling, rugby, and soccer. He went on to play Division I rugby at Chico State, where he helped lead his team to the national championship game, earning a silver medal. During his time at Chico State, Jake served as the vice president and president of the rugby club and earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Officer McPherson joined the Clayton Police Department in January and is currently in the last stages of his field training program. He is extremely excited to begin his law enforcement career serving the residents and businesses of Clayton. He looks forward to meeting everyone who works for the city and contributing to the safety and well-being of this beautiful community. In his free time, Jake enjoys spending time with friends and family, attending concerts and stand-up comedy shows, playing pickleball, and playing video games. It's the new generation. He has also taken notice of the bocce ball games downtown while on patrol and hopes to join them soon. Not on duty, Jake. Penning Officer McPherson will be his mother, Andrea. Andrea served as a dispatcher for 29 years with the California Highway Patrol and the Vacaville Police Department before retiring this past Christmas. She is thoroughly enjoying her retirement and is excited to see her son begin his new law enforcement career. So please give a hand for Officer McPherson. I'd like to introduce to you Officer Gabriel Phelps. Officer Phelps was born and raised in the Bay Area, and he currently resides in Solano County with his wife, 2 daughters, and son. Officer Phelps joins the Clayton Police Department from the Concord Police Department, where he served as a jailer. Prior to that, he worked as a police officer with the Honolulu Metropolitan Police Department. We got one. All right. Officer Phelps is excited to begin this new chapter with the Clayton Police Department. He looks forward to working closely with local businesses and residents while delivering the highest level of service and professionalism to the community. Tonight, Penning Officer Phelps will be his son, Ace Phelps. Please give hands for Officer Phelps. Now I'm going to ask some assistance from Ace and Andrea. Could you please come forward? All right. Hold that one. Andrea, you get to hold that one. And if you would please stand next to your respective officers, please. Don't mess this one up, all right? So now we're going to give the oath of office. And then they will be pinned, okay? Gentlemen, if you please raise your right hand. And you're going to repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations, gentlemen. We got through that, kind of. All right, please pin your officers. One last thing for the police department. On April 30th, Thursday, April 30th, we'll be hosting our first Coffee with the Cops at Roadside 22 with Relentless Grind coffee. So please join us if the public. We'd love to have you there. All right. Thank you very much. The time is from 9 a.m. to 10. 9 to 10.
All right. We have one more presentation, and this is a proclamation recognizing April 29th through the 25th as National Library Week. And so I'm going to read this very brief proclamation. And I think we're presenting it to Ms. Bauer, I believe. Yes, perfect. All right. So whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can find joy through exploration and discovery. We are all in the library right now. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and cultural enrichment. And whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. And whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. And whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. And whereas libraries nurture young minds through story time, STEM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning that last a lifetime. And whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. And whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme of Find Your Joy, now therefore be it resolved that I, Jeff Wan, Mayor of the City of Clayton, proclaim April 19th through 25th as National Library Week. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library helps our community find joy. And I believe Ms. Power is accepting the proclamation.
Yes, please.
It's my pleasure to be here tonight. Geneva is busy, our community branch managers, a little short-handed today. But it is really my pleasure to be here because I have been involved with this library before it was, since 1989, I believe. It's a very important place to this community, and it's nice to have it acknowledged annually. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have this for you.
Do you want to do a
I'm
photo?
gonna go around.
Do you want to take a photo?
You guys want to take a photo real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. That concludes item 5, the presentations. I know that a lot of you are here for that, and if you want to stay, you're welcome to, but if not, we will not be offended if you want to do other things. So we'll let you go.
Bye, Giovanna.
You can go too. I'll give it just a minute.
Yeah, give it a few minutes.
Yeah. All right. We will continue with our regularly scheduled agenda, and this will go back to item number 4, the consent calendar. Does anyone have any items that they would like to pull from the consent calendar? Okay, then I would actually like to make a comment on item C, and that's the contract list. Does it, if no one else does, then I will indulge, I guess. Is this purport, so I just had a couple questions. I was under the impression, because we saw a draft of a contract list prior, I can't recall the exact date, but when we did, it was quite extensive, and this list is not. So are we saying that this is a complete list, or is this not a complete list?
It is not a complete list.
Okay.
It is a list, and I think I put the criteria in which they applied to all of the contracts. We probably have a couple or 300 different kinds, but what's included here is anything that's a service contract or a subscription that's greater than $30,000. And it does not include any contracts that are revenue contracts. It does not include any MOUs or agreements with other governmental entities. And I think that's all the criteria I applied to this.
Okay, so.
One of the things you might notice is it's also a much shorter list because we've been eliminating contracts over the last several months.
Do we have an idea of like the magnitude of elimination?
Probably 7, 8 contracts in like one a month at least, and probably at a cost of probably $400,000 over an annualized basis.
When you say $400,000 annualized, do you mean it's a reduction in contract spend of $400,000 annualized?
Or a movement to another kind of contract that would reduce the cost, yes. So one example is we had a $100 and something $1,000 contract, didn't get to 200, so correct myself there, for building maintenance, which was replaced by an in-house seasonal worker, saving the city the delta between their salary and that contract.
Okay, thank you. The note on the staff report says anything under the city manager's signature authority, but I think it is supposed to be over.
Well, over, yeah. I meant it's not under the purview of the city manager's signature authority. So, but you're right, it's the dollar amount would be over 30,000.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Diaz, did you have?
Yeah, I just want, is there anything else looming out there that we will be brought back to the council for a review and approval?
Contracts?
Yes.
No, we're kind of caught up. We're going to be doing some renewals.
Okay.
There'll be a number of renewals coming up.
And if they exceed 30,000, then you'll, okay.
They'll be
Thank you. That's
included
all
here.
I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just to note too, there'll be a number of others that are going to be coming off in August and September that are being replaced by the Civic Plus contract. So a number of those expire in that month. So those will be coming off in the next, probably the first quarter of 27.
Okay, thank you.
And then the only question that I had earlier today in my one-on-one with our city manager was the Bel Air Mechanical. So it's a $98,000 contract. Year-to-date is $22,560. Are we going to be saving some money, or is there more work to come?
There's more work to come.
So we'll probably use that whole 98?
No, we won't use the full 98, but again, one of the things that we do with the not to exceed amounts is we try to estimate what the annual spending would be,
Right.
and then we put that down. But we're only obligated to pay on that contract based on the services provided.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering, budgeting-wise, did we budget for 98 and,
Yes, we did
Okay.
budget for 98.
okay, and is that an HVAC company, Bel Air Mechanical?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. And they take care of the air conditioning here in this building as well as City Hall. I will say, we are going to have to replace one of the 2 compressors on the air conditioning at City Hall. It's going to be about a $15,000 item. So that's been ordered and is being shipped from the East Coast.
Okay, thanks.
So that'll help eat into that 98.
The good way.
I do have one follow-up. These contracts only through 25, 26, is that correct? Not beyond?
A couple of them do extend into 27, but it just depended on the cycle. Some of the ones that we did earlier this spring, I tried to take all the way through to June 30th of 2027, but they're budgeted on an annual basis based on the fiscal
Okay,
year.
but June 30, 2027.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, there's one that goes through 28.
Oh, is there? Yeah. Civic Plus, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so the only ask I would have, because I'm looking at the staff report, and it says provide feedback. So my feedback would be, if we're going to receive a report like this, I would always like the so what, like, so what about it? Like you've definitely taken action, reduce the number of contracts, look for contract savings. You're going to combine and consolidate later or something like that. So if there are these actions, I mean, I think that is really what you're trying to highlight. But this is information without context, so I would include something that says,
Okay.
here's why we are showing you this and what you, like, how should I interpret it?
Understood.
If you provide the context, it'll help come across easier.
Understood. Got it. Thank you.
I just had a couple questions about the expirations. Some of them don't have expirations. Why are you putting your hand on your head? Oh, I was like, I can't ask a question. I start talking and you're like, oh God, not her. All right, so.
Could you give me an example of one of the
Yes.
ones? Yeah.
Apex
Yes.
and Rural Pig and Workers.com.
Yeah.
So I can see that the contracts are executed, but there's no expiration date. We've had
Correct.
them for a while. Will we be doing new contracts with them that have, are we going to redefine the contracts, I guess is the best way to ask it?
Yeah, so short answer is yes. We
Okay.
we are going to redo those and have terms. In some cases, I have not been able to physically locate or electronically locate the actual existing contracts. And so that's one of the issues with Apex in particular. But they're a company we're in regular contact with, and but we are thinking about putting that out to bid as well. So
Okay. And then what about the other two? Workers.com and Rural Pig.
Yeah, workers we're winding down, and that's one that's going to be eliminated in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Yep.
Rural Pig contract is an ongoing contract, but we are exploring opportunities to do it in a different way, because right now it's not beneficial to us the way it's currently structured.
Okay. And then for the auditing services with the expiration, I'm assuming you're working on a new one already, if it's not already done?
So there's actually 2 one-year options on that contract, and we're trying to do some things to accelerate their service in the coming for the 26 audit, so that we can look at putting that out to bid in 27.
Okay. And then the only other question I have, because it will be a burning one, is are we going to renew the All City Management School Crossing Guard one, which expires in June? You mentioned that some would you be phasing out.
Yeah, that one we're going to continue.
Thank you.
Just one comment on that. We pay all of that. School district does not contribute a penny, right?
For that contract, we pay we pay the price for that contract yet. Yeah.
They provide some,
For background, the school district does not provide funding, but the quarry does.
right, that's who it was, thank you.
They pay an agreed upon rate, or they pay an amount based on agreement that equals one crossing guard.
Because it's been years the school district refuses.
Microphone.
Your mic's off.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's been years the school district has refused.
The county did a study, I want to say last year with all the cities, and every city approaches this different. Some pay, some don't. Depending on the district, they provide money, and some of them have no guards, no nothing. So it's just,
From a delineation of responsibility, the safety on streets falls on the burden falls on the municipality, and so that's why many districts, in order to save money, have made that choice. Okay, any other questions? Okay, public comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Do we have a motion?
Move approval. I'll second.
Would you please call the roll?
Yeah. Councilmember Diaz?
Yes.
Councilmember Trupiano?
Yes.
Councilmember Tillman?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ania?
Yes.
Mayor Juan?
Aye.
As 5-0, the motion carries.
All right, that concludes item number 4, consent calendar. We've already done item number 5. Item number 6 is reports, city manager's report.
thank you, Mayor, council members. Maintenance update. We've added a second contractor to assist with landscaping, weeds, and trees. So they've been out working. They started with the inbound side and the median of Oakhurst. They're flipping around, going to the outbound. Also working on the hillside right over here, turning onto Main Street, going downtown, trimming trees, removing what are referred to as suckers, that are trees that are just growing randomly that have no purpose, so getting rid of those, and then doing the weeds as well. This week, our staff removed the weeds at the dog park and replaced it with bark. Get it? Get it? Yeah.
Good.
That was yours.
They can't all be winners.
No. Very few are. And then weed abatement for fire danger in the open spaces. They're up working on Keller Ridge right now. They've expanded their crew size so they can get to more of it quicker.
Can you refresh on the deadline for that?
That is June 1st.
June 1st. So all the stuff that we're talking about, the weeds adjacent to the road that other folks may have been mentioning, June 1st.
Must be done by June 1st, and we will meet that deadline. Go ahead, sir.
Just real quick, and just to set the expectation. So we are going to do the roadways 30 feet off of the roadways, and as indicated earlier in public comment, that is a major source of fire starts, is dragging tow chains and whatnot. And then we're going to do 30 feet back from the fences of the property owners in the open space. We're not clear cutting the entire open space.
We're going to comply with the law.
We're going to comply with the law.
Excellent.
By the deadline.
Good choice.
Couple other quick things. Public Works Director, we had first interviews last week. Good Lord. I'm meeting with the 2 candidates, the finalists, later this week, and we'll make a determination and see if we can come to an agreement. We had a great group of candidates. We were very impressed, so looking forward to filling that role. The city clerk, assistant to the city manager, has departed, and that recruitment opened today. We're using the same firm that we used for the Public Works Director, so got that launched. So we're looking at interviews probably late May, mid to late May. And in the meantime, we have the Beard of Knowledge, Mr. Schuyler as the acting clerk and still fulfilling his role as project manager. So he has plenty of fun to do. And last, I met with the county library as well as the architects this afternoon. I had my date wrong. We are most likely, we have agreed that October, November is the best time for construction because September is a little difficult with programs that they have going on in the library. So to accommodate them, we will start October. We will order the furniture in June. Takes about 4 months to get the furniture, and then we've got now that we have dates, we can build the timeline backwards and get everything kind of put together and move forward. So, excellent. And that concludes my report.
So you were gonna do like a readout of the progress of some of the activities that we talked about last week. Is that the structure, or is there more that was going on? Because I know that there's a lot of beautification type activities that are going on. Is there more on that front at this point, or is that just
More
going to
to
be an
come.
ongoing
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of developing that work plan as we go, and trying to address this with the crews, and so it's kind of a moving target. But yes, we will have more at each council meeting. We'll bring what we have, either coming up or what we've completed in the previous 2 weeks.
Okay. Can I ask that as part of that more, there's a view into the overall scope of work that we're doing? It's not necessarily just a 2-week look, but a longer term look, so that us and the community have an idea of what to expect in maybe in the 1 to 4 month range. Because I mean, I think that's like where we were really talking about ramping up activity. So it'd be good to get an idea of what that should look like, so we have that kind of planned out.
And even if it's a written report, that's, you can verbally say it, but just like we include ours in writing, that might be a good idea too.
Yeah, just so that I think so the community knows, hey, all these things are on the docket and they're coming. It can't all be done at once, but it'll come. So that'd be helpful, I think. Okay.
First of all, compliments on the landscape maintenance. It's being very, very apparent that the team is out there taking care of it. In fact, one that gets a lot of visibility is right outside the front door here, and that's finally gotten cleared up, because and we're getting positive feedback, at least I am, from the community, that this is taking place. So it's long overdue, and the ones that have talked to me are very happy with what's taking place. Back to your talk about the Public Works Manager, will that person who will be one of the finalists, or the 2 finalists, are they being interviewed by the staff? Are you using that process?
Management staff interviewed them last week, and then I'm meeting with them this week.
Good, thank you.
And then the only thing I forgot to put in my council report, and I'll have a full lineup in my council report for May 7th, is that Concerts in the Grove is starting on May 16th. And the entire lineup and flyer are on our Concerts in the Grove landing page on the website. That's it.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Any other questions? All right, that concludes 6A. Our 6B, the reports are in the agenda packet. That concludes item 6. There is no item 7, and we will move on to item 8. This is action items. So item 8A looks like the first 3 items are a series of appointments that we are discussing. The first is for the Trails and Landscape Committee for Ms. Karen Case. Is anyone from staff introducing this item?
Well, sure. This was one of those items that got left last week with the clerk. So currently, right now, we had one opening on Trails and Landscape. One person has resigned about 6 weeks ago. So there are 2 vacant positions, and we've had it open for applications for several months since we had the last selection. And so this was the only applicant that we had, and so we brought Ms. Case forward this evening.
Okay, thank you. And her application is in the agenda packet?
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions?
No, but I've received emails from her in the past, and she seems to be interested in things related to landscaping and our trails. So Yeah, but she's not here tonight, right? I have never met her.
She is not. I talked to her earlier or late last week. She had a family situation arise and was not able to make it.
Yeah, I've definitely had communication in this case. I believe, she does have a passion for the area. However, the only thing that I would say is that, the work as a member of the TLC is not necessarily about landscaping itself, but it's more about the oversight and administration of the actual landscape maintenance district assessment. So as long as the person is up for that, then glad to have her.
Okay.
All right, public comment on item 8A. Seeing none, close public comment. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Ms. Case for the Trails and Landscape Committee for a 2-year term.
I'll second.
All right, if you would call the roll.
Can do. Let's go left to right. Councilmember Diaz.
Yes.
Councilmember Trupiano.
Yes.
Councilmember Tillman.
I was still stuck on the left to right. That was right
Left to me. I apologize. Left to the audience watching and on.
Is this like
online.
stage left?
Yeah.
Yes, aye.
I didn't do stage, so I couldn't tell you. Vice Mayor Ania
Yes.
and Mayor Juan.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 5-0.
All right, that's 8A. 8B is considering the appointment of Ms. Anita Stranick as the City of Clayton representative to the Contra Costa County Advisory Council on Aging. Are you going to? I'm going to go to you at the beginning of each item. You could
Just come to me. I got
give
you.
us background.
The application should be in your pack, excuse me. Thank you. I think the chief's given me his cold. Thank you. Ms. Stranick also has submitted her application, should be in your packet. Our previous representative passed away, and so we are looking to fill that position. And so, again, we advertised it on the website, put some information out, and we have one application, and that is Ms. Stranick. So I'll turn it over to you for questions or comments.
Anyone would like to comment on the application of Ms. Stranick?
I will just say that I know Ms. Stranick, and she is a member of the Clayton Valley Village. I know she's got a corporate background. I think she would be a great representative to the city and the council. And she has done some terrific training sessions with the Clayton Valley Village Board, and I think she'll really do a terrific job. So she's not here tonight either, I don't think, right?
Excellent.
That's it. I don't know if anybody else knows her.
All right, any other comment? Okay, public comment on item 8B. Seeing none, I will close public comment. And is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we can call the roll.
Councilmember Tillman.
Aye.
Councilmember Trupiano.
Yes.
Councilmember Diaz.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ania.
Yes.
Mayor Juan.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, that is item 8B. Next is item 8C. This is consider approving the reappointment of Ed Miller to serve on the Contra Costa Transportation Authority Citizens Advisory Committee. This should be no surprise. I'm
Pointing
going
at
back
me.
to you.
As stated, Mr. Miller has served on the CCTA Citizens Advisory Committee in the past, and actually his term expired a little while ago, but it's still maintained. Good God. Has still attended the meetings, and he and I have had some conversations over the last couple months on some items. So his application to be reappointed should be in your packet. I'll turn it back over to you for any comments or questions you may have for Mr. Miller.
Okay, any comment or questions? I see Mr. Miller's here, so.
Well, I do have some comments, and I do have some questions. Mr. Miller, you have been on this committee for 7 years.
Correct.
And I've been on the council almost 4, and I do not ever remember you reporting out to us, and I'd like to hear your reasoning for that. You've also been on an expired term since 2023, and I don't know if it was our responsibility or
Yes, it
yours
was.
to say, hey, I'm sitting here on an expired term, I'd like to stay on and reapply. I noticed every other person serving on the committee is current, and so honestly, in 4 years, if you've reported out, I've never heard it, and I'd like to know what you do on that committee and how you serve us as a community. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to answer those questions. First of all, it was your fault, only in the sense of it is the city council's, a memo is sent over at the time of expiration to the city, so it is up to the city to reappoint the representatives, and those letters have been sent. But anyway.
But wouldn't you have to reapply?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Before tonight?
Before tonight, correct. A few weeks
Okay.
ago. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so it's funny that you should mention what you are, because, well, first of all, let me tell you what the committee does. It's very easy and succinct. The committee is responsible for approving the application, the biennial application of each city or county entity for Measure J return to source funds. So basically, the gas tax that's going to come back to the city on a 2-year basis, there's a 2-year cycle. And so if every 2 years, the cities send a representative to that committee. We listen to their petition of all the things that they've done with the money and other transportation and housing projects for the last 2 years. And then we vote up or down to give the Measure J. It is practically perfunctory, I will say that. But there are some good questions, some back and forth, some feedback that comes from the various communities that reinforces or suggests other, action when we don't like sort of a direction that things are going. It's a chance for the cities and the county at-large representatives to express that to the cities. Like, for example, maybe someone saying, I don't like the lack of coordination of stoplights on YV between Concord and Walnut Creek. That's an example of a comment that I have fed back in the past, in the interest of our citizenry. But to your point, I sent an email to the city when I applied for this, and I said, I really recommend that we create some sort of reporting structure. Like, for example, as I attend these meetings monthly, I can simply put a single paragraph in an email that could be included in the report outs for the council for that. I think that would be great. It'd give you some visibility. Most of the time, it will be something like this. Last meeting, the cities of Moraga and Orinda presented their Measure J checklists for approval and were voted approved. But there are occasionally, and so that's, maybe a little dry, but what has been bubbling up that I'd really like to have the chance to report back is there have been some very successful problems, very successful solutions put out to problems, like by San Ramon. They've used some of their Measure J money to fund busing for the schools. In a sense, they can say, well, it's traffic abatement. So there's some really creative and successful solutions that I would love to forward, like I said, note it in a paragraph and maybe attach some slides of interest. So I would love to report out to the council if that would be possible in that format. If you want me in the dais, I'm happy to come here monthly to speak to that. If you just would like a written report, happy to do that as well.
But I guess my point is, in 7 years, have you ever reported out? And particularly things that relate to Clayton, like we have Measure J funding also, right?
Yes.
So,
I have sent emails to the city. We have $292,000 from the and I sent that email, I think, even to the council. No, actually, I called that one in. I phoned in on that one. We have $292,000 awaiting us from the last cycle, and we are entering the next cycle. And Chris and I have actually interacted. I've sent emails and stuff saying that I've identified an individual within the CCTA that they can talk to. They'd kind of like to have us back to back them. Like, in other words, since we're kind of sitting on the border between them, why not present the last 2 years and the 2 years immediate behind that, so that we can get, it's about $600,000 in Measure J funds. So,
and do we know that information already as a city? We do. Okay, thank you.
yeah. So, but you know what? I want to honor the spirit of what you just said. You're absolutely right. We need to have more interactivity in this, and I'm open to any ideas. I'm suggesting that a report out in the council reports might work for you, but if it doesn't, I'm absolutely open to any and all, coming here, speaking, answering questions, whatever. There have been some things that are very exciting that, like this, this thing in San Ramon has been a big deal. But there have also been some times when, for example, there was announcement of there was an emerging project coming over the hill where they were going to create a bypass past Buchanan out off to the side. Now, I'll tell you that project, unfortunately, has been canceled in the meantime for lack of funding. But those are things that are on the horizon that potentially could have, impacts for our residents. I would love to, send stuff in, and if you guys say, hey, this actually looks interesting, why don't we actually have them come in this month and answer a few questions about that? I'd be happy to.
And I guess my last thing, are you voting on things on behalf of the city of Clayton?
As I said, and I don't want to belittle the role too much, it is pretty perfunctory. I've never attended a meeting in which there was a nay vote to disperse the funds, but that is the vote that we vote on. It is not, for example, the body which would vote on something to approve or not approve an actual CCTA project. That is the parent board. The CAC just reviews the Measure J funding applications.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So I'm curious, is that, like, for the voting aspect, that's interesting. Is it a recommendation, like an advisory capacity, or is it actually a controlling authority voting?
You know what?
Do we know? I don't know.
I actually don't know the answer to that. I have to guess that it's a recommendation to the CCTA board as proper.
Because, I mean, it's labeled as an advisory committee. I'm just going off of what I read,
No,
so.
I agree with you. I think it is. A vote is taken, but it is, votes are taken on planning commissions. It absolutely probably is an advisory opinion based on review of the material in the application packet. And of course, we're not the only people who look at them. The staff also review the packet as well.
Because we have a representative to CCTA, right? I mean, that's.
I'm on Transpac, but that's just a layer above his. It goes to the main company, the main body, CCTA. They make the final decision. We could only advise.
Right.
And I only represent Clayton, and there's Concord and Martinez, Pleasant Hill, and Walnut Creek. Just those few cities.
But like they interact with SWAT and some of these others in the West Pack, West Track.
Did you look it up?
It's a recommendation, and then on the backside, it's the oversight piece, much like TLC would be for the financials. So reviewing Measure J funds and how they were expended to prove that they were spent correctly.
Whose role is it to bring forward the application to receive Measure J funds for the city?
City engineer.
Okay. Are we behind?
Well, if I could feed to that, I see a combination of different, you're right, sometimes the city engineer, but I generally have seen in the past a a cohort of 2 people that will come. One will often be the city planner.
Well, I meant like just in our
sorry.
city.
Sorry.
Like in our city, we have to have someone that's designated, so that's why I'm,
Yeah. I'm thinking it would be the engineer, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Are we behind?
A little.
A little bit.
But we can catch up. I mean, City of Moraga and not La Miranda, sorry, it just rolls off the tongue, right? Moraga and Miranda, we're the last 2 other cities to report, so we'll be the last. But that's okay. That's not a criticism at all, but we have an opportunity to pick up some money. So 292 for the previous cycle, and I'm going to guess over 300,000 for the current cycle.
Is that in our budget?
It'd be nice to have another $600,000 laying around, right?
What's in our budget currently is
Actually,
the.
I'll withdraw the question. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
We're off the topic.
Sorry,
so I
sorry,
will,
yeah.
Yeah, so I will withdraw that question and turn it over to my colleague with the question.
First of all, let me compliment you, Ed, on your application. It's typed. I'm being honest with you, the ones that we get that aren't typed are difficult to read, and I really appreciate that. But I have an issue with, just like Councilmember Tillman, or not Tillman, but Trupiano mentioned, we are waiting for a report.
Absolutely.
And we've not had one. Now, another thing I talked about with the city manager today, I look at the list of the open committees. One that's absolutely close to home is missing, and that's the 3C TA.
Right. The bus. The bus one.
And you'll see in my report, we appointed somebody in Concord, and it's close to home.
Oh,
and the Clayton one has been vacant for probably 6+ years. And they really have an impact because they report directly to the board, which I sit on, and we take their recommendations very seriously.
Yeah.
And there are a number of things that we're working on here in Clayton, particularly as it relates to bus service, that committee, the CCCTA, has a direct impact. And it's missing from the list. And so I know Chris is going to add it to it, but 7 years, we've had nobody there.
Yeah,
And
CCCTA.
Yes.
Central Contra Costa County Transit Authority.
Yeah.
And you'll look in my report, we just appointed a new member from Concord. And
Nothing
they turn to me and they say, where's the one from Clayton? And I go, I don't know. Well, now I figured out where it is because it's not on the list.
Right.
And anyway.
It's easy to look at those 2 and think that they're duplicates of each other.
But more importantly, that body has decisions and recommendations closer to home.
Yeah.
As opposed to the CCTA, which is more global.
It is. It's countywide.
I'm a little reluctant to move this forward until we get more definition from the incumbent and the applicant. So anyway, I think that'll be addressed in a future application when we get a person interested in doing things closer to home. Thank you.
Yeah, because we are a transportation desert with respect to it's like, once an hour.
Well, one thing that I think is apparent, there's 4 governing bodies, 3 of which are represented already regarding transportation, and we have 1 bus route that comes through our city. I mean, I don't know if that's overkill, but I'm
Wait,
just
there's
saying.
4?
Well, there's 1 open one, I guess, on the CCCTA. Jim's on County Connection.
Right.
Councilmember Diaz, sorry, is on County Connection. Vice Mayor Ani is on TransPac.
Yep.
Ed's been sitting on CCTA Citizens Advisory Committee. I mean,
Honestly, Councilman Anea's position is more impactful. Again, I don't want to belittle, it is a fairly perfunctory role that is performed by this committee that I'm on, as opposed to some of the actual technical planning that occurs at that level. Those are like little, TransPac and these others are like little mini, and SWAT are mini CCTAs of their own with funding to allocate and projects to plan. But I do think there is a missing piece here of there are interesting things afoot in the CCTA, and that information is not flowing back to you from me, and I would I would like for that to happen.
Because we're not getting any reports.
Exactly,
Maybe,
exactly.
yeah.
You know, I don't think that, from the point at which I was appointed in 2019, there was no structure laid out for that to happen. I have come actually in the non-comments agenda, on the non-agenda comments section, and made some reports in the sense of, hey, you've got $292,000 laying around. So there have been kind of like some informal attempts to report, but there's never been like a kinship going the two ways to kind of open the channel, and I would really, really like to fix that, yeah.
Did you have a comment, our city attorney? I thought you may have indicated that you did.
I thought we were getting more off topic from the agenda item, so.
Give it time.
Sorry.
But you, I think, are coming back to the agenda item, which is whether to approve the reappointment or not.
Give us time. We'll go afield.
I would just, and it'll be reflected in my vote, since we don't have that other item on the agenda here I would
For
like to see
CCC?
the incumbent apply for that position because it has more focus. Thank you.
All right.
I'm going to make a motion to appoint.
We need to take public comment first.
Oh, I thought we did.
And Councilmember Diaz, what more information did you say that you wanted?
I'd like to see, as you pointed out, a report
Yeah.
from this body.
Okay.
So since there's no official person in that role, a report would be,
No official person in what position?
this position.
What about
He's-
the previous 4 years?
7 years he's been. It is him.
I understand, okay.
Other questions for Mr. Miller? Okay, public comment on item 8C. You're standing. I'm assuming you want to make public comment?
Hello there, Lauren Kindorf. Two things is, I've come to most meetings, or I listen at home now, but I've never heard a report from the Council on Aging. Do they come and give reports regularly? And, you know, I've seen Trails and Landscape try to report and be ignored. So I think unless there's a system in which it is set up that these people are coming, they're being invited, they're being included, and I have heard Mr. Miller come and report things, but there's no place formally for him to report. I've heard him in public comment report. So I think holding him to a standard that is not a standard, there's nothing available there. So that just seems very strange to me because, and I know there's other positions that there's nothing, I've never heard them asked and refused, shall we say. And the other thing with the CCCTA, to mix this with that, are we, because this says CCTA, so if there's another thing CCCTA and you want an advisor for that, it sort of has nothing to do with what's happening right here tonight. So that's a bit confusing also. And I didn't plan to speak, and I didn't think this would be anything to think about, but I hope that's all making sense to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment and bring it back. Any other comments from council?
Is there a possibility excluding this application to put a reporting system in place for everyone that represents us out in the, beyond our own council reports?
Yeah, that can be a policy decision by the council to say we would like quarterly reports, monthly, whatever you would like. And then it would be the clerk's responsibility to work with each one of those individuals to remind them to get their reports in ahead of time, and then if you want it verbally, if you want it written, whatever the will of the council is, we can make that happen.
Okay.
And that would be a future agenda
A
item.
future agenda
that we
item,
can-
correct. Yes.
And a question on that.
See what I told you? Just give us time.
Do we know how often the body meets? Because I know like the triple C meets quarterly. We meet monthly. Monthly, okay.
And have you, even in the absence of an official appointment, have you continued with your attendance on the monthly basis?
Yes, Clayton's, aside from the fact that there is not an official appointee, Clayton's considered to be in good standing because we've had someone in good attendance for the entire period, yeah. And I'm not sure, when did I actually, I'm just asking to see, when did I go off of the, when did the appointment end? Was it about 6 months ago?
It was 2023. It expired in 2023.
Fascinating.
Yeah. I looked on the website,
Okay.
and every other municipality is current, and we are
All right.
expired for
Well,
3 years.
We got a
So-
chance to, we're doing the right thing now. We're trying to fill in the gaps. But that does make sense because I was appointed February of 2020, 2019, and so 4-year appointment. 2023 does sound correct to me.
Is the appointment retroactive, or is it 4 years from now? I mean, they have to put something on the website. So, I mean, hey, if you're interested and you've been attending the meetings this whole time, I think the report out is nice, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, yeah. There's some really neat ideas that do come before us, and I think it would be titillating for you to see some of the creative ways that other cities have tackled some problems that we have as well.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Is there a motion on item?
I'll make the motion to approve the
8C.
reappointment of Edward L. Miller to serve on the CCTA Citizens Advisory Committee for a 4-year term.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
If we could call the roll.
Yeah, I will take roll. Councilmember Tillman,
Aye, and thank you for serving this whole time.
Councilmember Trupiano,
Yes.
Councilmember Diaz,
As was stated before, I'm abstaining from this until we correct all these problems.
okay, Vice Mayor Inia,
Yes.
and Mayor Juan.
Aye.
The motion carries 4 with 1 abstaining. Sorry if the terminology is incorrect,
4-0-1.
but the motion carries. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, that concludes item 8C. Item 8D is a review of the 26 budget status, consider approval of the 27 budget revisions and reserve options. I believe someone in that area.
It'll be me. So, all right, so overview, will be to provide that update on 26 year-to-date and our year-end projection, and bring back the updated budget revisions that were provided as direction from the council at the last meeting. And at the end, the recommended actions will be to just have reviewed those, provide feedback to staff, and then if it's the council's desire to approve the budget revisions, including those April 7th council augmentations. So to talk about 26, I'm going to just talk about the number at the bottom right-hand corner to start. One of the things that we put off in the discussion last time was this year-end projection. I wanted to make sure the calculations were accurate, and they did change from the docketed packet at the last meeting. But I feel now very confident about the changes in revenue, as well as the efforts that we've made on operations to try to bring that budget closer to being in balance. But just to walk through that, just to note that the adopted budget and the adjusted budget had modest amounts of reserve funding requirements in them. one of the things that's noticeable, even in the year-to-date figures, but also prominently, is the $500,000 in missing revenue. And we could talk a little bit more about where that money comes from, what that is. But I think it's also important to note that what the city has done in terms of on salaries and benefits and services and supplies to try to reduce some of those costs from the budget. And that frankly, if it wasn't for the revenue losses, we would be at about a $90,000 difference from the adjusted budget that was adopted by this council back in the late fall of last year. So let me just talk a little bit more about what those deltas are, what those variances are. And we've talked about this before, but we knew that with the end of the successor agency that the RPTTF, which was money that has been collected, held by the county, and then distributed on a regular basis since 2012 with the initiation of the successor agencies to the former RDAs, that with the closure of that of the local successor agency, that money would be reduced. It would no longer be available from the county. And so while we had budgeted $495 in revenue from the county for that, we received the $320, and so that is a reduction of $175,000 in tax revenue, or pardon me, in the tax increment that was going to support the administrative efforts of the successor agency here in Clayton. There's also, we've identified a $35,000 loss in water well revenue that we had previously been selling to a large water user here in the community. And then the other loss in revenue to the general fund was the ending of the fiduciary fund transfers for the successor agency, the streetlight fund, as well as the stormwater assessment fund. On the successor agency, it's related to what I previously discussed about. The end of the successor agency really ends the fiduciary responsibility that the city would have had for managing the affairs of that successor agency. And so with that, that would zero out that transfer going in the current year. And then in addition to that, we made an administrative decision because the streetlights fund and the stormwater fund have negative balances. It didn't make any sense to continue to bill them for those fiduciary fund services and further dig a hole for those two particular funds. Ultimately, if the assessments don't change in either one of those funds, there will be a need to augment those, and probably one of the few sources of revenue to continue the maintenance and operation of those particular funds would be the city's general fund, and it didn't quite make sense to myself to continue to dig a deeper hole for those two funds that eventually the city's general fund might be responsible for backfilling.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
I don't think that's the right accounting.
Okay.
The fiduciary funds incur a charge, and that charge should be recognized, and an entry made to attribute revenue to the general fund because they should pay for those services that they're receiving. They will be in deficit, but that's an accurate reflection of the fund and those activities within the fund. That we may later then need to supplement the fund with a general fund transfer, that's besides the point, I think. I mean, if we have to do that, we have to do that, but if we record the revenue to the general fund and the charge to the fiduciary fund, it will more accurately represent the true nature of those funds. And I don't think avoiding the appearance of a deficit in one and the other is a reason not to make the entry that we would normally make, because the appropriateness of the entry exists regardless of the status of the fund balance. Okay. And then grossing up the transaction is a true representation of the activity. Okay. So I don't think we should net it.
Okay. That'll cause a 60, roughly a
That's fine.
$60,000 change.
Yeah,
in
but
the-
I would
in
just
the-
say, I'm not a governmental accountant, so you should probably validate that, but that's how I think it should be treated,
Okay,
in my personal opinion.
appreciate that. Okay. We can go back and look at that. It would have a net positive impact to revenue of an additional $60,000 coming back for those two that were running negative. The successor agency is the balance of that.
That's different.
That's different, yeah.
Successor agency is the activity is not happening,
Right.
so therefore, we don't charge them.
Correct.
So can I, on the successor agency?
Yeah.
So 495 versus 320, we knew the successor agency activity was ending. Is 495 a reduction from the prior year?
It was a
And it wasn't
reduction.
a sufficient reduction?
Yeah, Mayor One, it was 600,000 the previous year, so in '25, it was roughly 600,000.
So how did we come to the haircut?
We had to take a kind of a swag at when it was actually going to end. And the other challenge with the RPTTF is it's not a set amount. It varied each year, and the county doesn't give you those numbers, frankly, until December, what those numbers are. And so that's been the challenge, is the timing on when those numbers come out from the county, because they are different every single year.
Okay, so then it's 495 to 320 for FY26. All the activity is concluded. Do we expect zero in 27?
We expect zero, and we have budgeted zero in the revised budget for 27.
In the revised budget or the budget we adopted originally for 27?
The original budget had a dollar amount.
Because we would have known at that time, when preparing the FY27 budget, that FY26 would be the final year.
Wasn't it like 515 we were estimating?
Actually, we had originally in the adopted 27 budget, we had 215.
215.
215.
So when we made adjustments to 27 prior, did that incorporate the 215 reduction?
This is the first adjustments we're making to 27.
So is that included in here in the next few
Yes,
slides?
so that's completely zeroed out now.
Okay. All right, that's the extent of my interruptions on this one item.
Let's see. Okay, so on the other side of the transactions, looking at our expenditure budget, we have really been impacted by overtime in the police department to the tune of an additional $199,000 that we had not budgeted in 26.
And if I could just ask one quick question on that.
Your microphone's not on.
It is.
It's on.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't see the light. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Just 2 weeks ago, I believe that number was 80,000.
Yeah.
So what happened 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
It's now 199.
Well, a couple things, and one, we began to see this trend. So overtime in the police department had been running about $7,000 a pay period, pretty much throughout the year. Pardon me?
Over? 7,000 over?
Well,
or
just 7,000.
Oh, got it.
7,000. With the, we've had some people out on leave. It began to climb. And so that's why we thought it was going to be like 80. And then the other piece that started happening was the field training officer and the inability of the new officers that were sworn in tonight. Those can't take full patrol, so they had to backfill those and use overtime officers in order to backfill those. So, and the training officers were also on overtime to be able to do the field training. So we went from $7,000 a pay period to $22,000 a pay period in overtime.
And we did not estimate for
We did
any
not.
of that, knowing that we had new recruits?
We did not.
Coming on board, okay. And I was just surprised that it changed so dramatically in 2 weeks, from
Yeah,
that 80 to 199.
Yeah, from a
it's
run
been-
rate of 7 to 22 per pay period is significant, but I think the point that you're raising is that we had a checkpoint at the last meeting, and that was supposed to be through March. So for it to go double
We
in
missed
estimate.
we missed it earlier, because we brought, I mean, when the first new officer started back in January, we should have seen it, begin to spot it then, because a lot of those impacts. It's now doubled, and then with the injuries on top of that, it's really accelerated.
And also, when you have officers leave, that's automatic overtime to cover those shifts.
While
And you had
while
two
it's
leave,
completely vacant,
So
yes.
you paid a fortune for that, because you can't anticipate that. And it happens all the time. You can't. It's hard to anticipate an overtime budget for the police, any city. So I could understand the almost $200,000. You lose 1/3 of your patrol shift people. So I understand that.
So I just want to, for clarity in my mind, the payroll is now around 22,000 a pay period.
In overtime.
Overtime charges.
Oh, and just in overtime?
Yes, I mean, our payroll for police department is considerably
much higher
more
than
than
that.
22,000. Yeah.
Because the 199 22 divided by 199, that's a lot more months than since January, right?
It's 5 pay periods. Pay periods, what, 2 weeks?
This is going all the way till June 30th. That's first of all. So this is projecting out another 2.5 months. And so it's taking in all that, and we've gone and done the calculations based on these additional expenses
Through June.
all the way through June 30th. And this is where you get to on June 30th. Not to today.
Yeah, these numbers aren't year-to-date. These are forecast.
Got it.
Okay. So I guess, yeah, I mean, if we need to do overtime, we need to do overtime. So that's kind of how it goes. But the only thing I would say then is if the ramp up started in the January, February timeframe, we had a budget and audit committee meeting in March. There's many opportunities for check-in at that point. I would think seeing the variance as it comes through and advising more timely would be preferable.
Agreed.
So it would, because when we met in March at the budget and audit, we were given a different impression.
Yeah.
And so I think the fact pattern was available at that point, but it wasn't known to us. So that piece, we should get more rapid feedback that this is happening.
It will not get past me again.
Okay, thank you.
May I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
So it went from 7,000 per pay period, and it has risen to 22,000 per pay period?
For just the overtime.
For
yes.
just the overtime?
Yes.
Okay. And is that consistent, is it consistently doing that now?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And especially now with adding the second officer and the training component to that, because the trainers are coming on.
I
for
understand. Okay, thank you.
So Dennis, here's the question I have, and I've been kind of ruminating on this all day today. I feel like in June, we approved a 2-year budget where we were looking at $130,000 deficit, right?
For
I
year
think-
for year one.
For 2026,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? And I'm
Correct.
just talking about 2026.
Yeah.
I know we didn't get to 2027 yet. And then I'm pretty sure in our November Budget and Audit Committee meeting, you and Jennifer came to us, and then we came to the council with a number of pages and pages of adjustments that I thought brought us back to like kind of a zero, right?
Pretty close, yes.
And then on March 5th, so that was November, March 5th, we were looking at a $410,000 deficit. And now it's April 21st, and we're looking at an $800,000 deficit. Like,
For
I
June
am
30th.
personally starting to feel like
Yeah.
I don't even know if I believe the numbers. Like,
Okay.
can you just explain what happened from June to now? You know, and maybe it is these things, but it just seems like,
It is these things.
in November, we were like
It
flush.
is, we're not.
I thought we were
so
doing a lot of adjustments.
We
Some
did.
money coming from
We
a
did.
reserve.
Do you want me to respond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in response, losing $500,000 in revenue is impactful. It's 8% of our total revenue in the city. That's the big story here. On the rest of the side of the budget, on the expenditure side of the budget, we're basically even with those adjustments that you made. We're $90,000 difference on net for the expenditure side. That's what's happened.
It just seems like a big difference.
It is.
From what we were just even talking about on March.
It
5th.
is a big difference.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then I also thought too that there were some, I think Jennifer called them Easter eggs, some things that she found that maybe worked in our favor. There was something about, one of the funds was Diablo View Middle School. I really thought that we were in a much better position than an $800,000 deficit.
We are not. Diablo View Middle School is not going to help the general fund.
Right.
That wasn't its purpose, right? I mean, there was a negligible amount. We closed it out. I think it was $45,000, but on 5.8 million, that's not a lot of an Easter egg, to be honest. The loss in revenue this year is consequential. It's not cataclysmic. It's not the end of the world. It's not the sky is falling. But it's indicative of what the challenge that this city has had for a long, long time. We spent many months from August until December talking through and seeing what this has been happening in slow motion. This is just another example of it. And I would have to believe, I wasn't here, but I would have to believe previous councils have had to deal with this and address parts of this thing for a long time. Because this is cyclical and it happens. The good news, and I just want to come back to the good news, is it's done and it's over in the sense that these were $65,000 notwithstanding on the fiduciary fund change. These are things that, you know, we've checked a box and we're moving on, and there's nothing we can do about it, especially in terms of, let's say, the successor agency funding to the general fund. The good news is we're managing our costs. That's the key piece in this, and we're going to have cost discipline going forward while we work through this. And I will say, from my past experience, that's going to be a real challenge going forward with the way the economy is running right now. Our labor costs for those contractors that are out there busting their butts to get rid of as many weeds as they can, those labor costs are going up. Their fuel costs are going up. Those contract costs are going to go up significantly. When we can now cheaper hire a seasonal worker to clean our buildings than it was to subsidize or to pay for some of the service contracts, that's an indicator for this council and for this community that we can't contract our way out of this, and we're going to have continued discipline on the expenditure side, and we're going to have more revenue. And I know we're talking about that later. But I just think that's just trying to tell some truth here.
I think one of the things to keep in mind is revenue for us in a lot of ways is uncontrollable. We have no control over the sales tax, the property tax. What comes in, when things get cut from us, we can't stop that, we can't prevent it. What we wish we had known was we knew this at the beginning of the year, so this was more of a static number versus kind of the explosion. But to Dennis's point, with the expense side, which we do control, we're off by $90,000, but what?
Can we go back to the slide prior? Sorry to interrupt. I just had a. So you're talking 90, and you're comparing 6528999 to 6439069. That's like 89,000.
Again, you're looking at end of the year numbers here.
No, I'm looking at the adjusted, right? Adjusted? 6528999 end of year to 6439069. That's the comparison that you get to the 90, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 6439069 doesn't foot from 4301381 1907504. That number is actually 6.2 something. So the 90 is actually 320.
Can I provide an alternative way of looking at it rather than looking at this all rolled up? Because you got a bunch of netting that you're not taking into consideration. But when I look at the three big things that I've mentioned on overtime, gas and electricity, and water service bills, those totaled about 311. 311,775 to be precise.
Okay.
And when I look at the savings that I listed on this slide, netting with some of our increase in our under budgeting in the services, that was 220,427.
Yeah, this number's 90.
In additional cost savings.
Yeah.
So that's where the 90,000 comes from.
I get it. So this explains 90. But when you look at the slide prior, there's something else. Because what represents in that second bullet is services and supplies and salaries and benefits. It's not revenue. But here,
correct.
The 4301 and the 1907, wait, this is the wrong slide.
I'm sorry. No, I
This
gotta
is
go.
27.
I got to go back to the right.
Sorry.
There you go. Sorry.
That number doesn't foot to 6439. And you could do the math in your head, but that's 6.2.
6528.
This number is not the sum of the two numbers above it. The sum of the two numbers above it is actually exactly 6208885, which tells me there's a formula.
Or a hand entering into
Yeah,
doing it.
there's something off.
Yeah,
and
I see what you're saying.
it is.
Now I see what you're saying. Thank you. Yeah.
And actually, in the column to the left, the FY26 adopted, it doesn't fit either, but to a smaller degree.
Okay.
So something's off.
Okay.
So I don't know if that affects the narrative on the 90. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the 90 is explained in the next slide, but I think there's an additional 210 somewhere.
Yeah.
Unless this number is not the right number. So I don't know.
No, I think there's something. I know what the differences is.
I don't know.
I will tell you, it's the 230 below. So you see the 230? So if you add the 230, now what's the 230 you're going to ask?
No, the 230 represents
The
the
230 is-
difference between revenue and expenditure on the
Right.
adjusted. So then I think I don't want to speak for you. I think what you're trying to say is if you exclude the 230 that we already knew, then the difference between the adjusted and the current end of your projection is only an additional 90.
90.
Because we had already done
Correct.
230.
230.
Is that what
That's
we're
correct.
trying to say?
That's correct. And the 230 is the Thies contract and the Civic Plus contract.
So, okay, so that's fine. But it would be much more clearly presented if we don't have components that are segregated out that way, and we always go to a baseline. So if we're comparing 6528 to something, we're going to compare either to the adjusted or the adopted. and the 230 has to be incorporated in the narrative.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Because otherwise, if it doesn't fit, then it's craziness.
Yeah. No, and I apologize for presenting it this way, but the 230 is Thies and Civic Plus.
So does that mean the 820 is really 820 less 230?
No,
No.
it is 820.
It is 820.
It's still going to be 820, or less 60,000 if I put back in the fiduciary fund transfer.
You know the way I look at it in my head? We're 800.
Clearly the way maybe I'm thinking about it.
We're 820,000 in deficit, but we lost 500,000 in revenue. So we can't predict that. But that leaves 320,000, and we're going to get 300,000 from our solar refund, which leaves our deficit at $20,000.
Not in
Am I wrong?
2026. We're not getting that
It's not
refund
going
in
to it's not going to show up by
2026.
June.
It's going to come up, it's going to come though. And I don't care if it comes in July. It's
Yeah.
still that we almost gave even. No, we're not even.
You may not. I think there's a level of uncertainty that means that it doesn't meet the criteria of recording it.
Okay.
Yes.
And remember, that's from the federal government.
I'll still take
so,
the refund.
yeah.
I got it for my solar, so I look at it at $20,000
Yeah.
only.
Well, you can put your IOU up.
Yeah. I mean, technically, the money is sitting in Cal OES, but yeah, it won't be, and it wouldn't be creditable for 26. So, I mean,
Still gonna get it. And it's going to go in general.
Yeah.
So we're still going to get it.
I mean, there's hedging companies that will take that bet.
Still going to be hopeful till they do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that took me a second.
Yeah, sorry.
To realize. I think it may take other people a second to realize.
Okay.
It would be helpful to present it like more
Okay.
distinctly. And I just have one other comment. You know, when you were talking with addressing Councilmember Triviano's questions about the significance of the revenue shortfall and identifying, hey, this is 8%. This is a significant amount. I think we need to be consistent. So, in other areas of this deck, we talk about, or maybe not this deck, but this agenda packet. There's a description that says the city's finances are sound and stable. But if we have an $800,000 deficit, and we're saying that a $600,000 or $500,000 is very significant, I don't think it's fair to say that this is a sound position when it's in an $800,000 deficit. Like, I think it does the community a disservice to try and say that we're okay, but we're actually not, because 800,000 is significant. It's more significant than the item that you were talking about, but we're describing them differently.
Says the overall financial position.
When you take into
includes
account the
It does.
reserves and.
That includes our reserves.
I mean, our reserves represent $7 million. This
Right.
is greater than 10% of reserves in 1 year.
It's
I think that's
It's
significant.
still a sound and stable position when you compare it to other cities here.
I mean,
we
as
are
a,
stable. We're not going to
We're
remain
sta-
that way.
yeah, we are
But we are stable for this year.
we are stable. But I wouldn't in good conscience say that this is sustainable.
No, it's not. It's not.
So if it's not sustainable, then I do not think it is sound. It is accurate, but we cannot sustain like this.
I would agree.
So, and that's why we're going to talk about the other item later. But I just want to, I don't want to sugarcoat the messaging. We need to be like very clear on what's happening. There is a structural issue. It's not any one thing. It's not a huge, it's not like there's a panacea that we can flip a switch. It is everything is more expensive and all the money is less. So, and that's a problem that we need to address. And I think kind of leading off with, hey, we're okay, everything's fine, is not the right messaging. So,
I concur. I'm glad that you actually vocalized that.
Okay, sorry, we're going to interrupt you a lot, so please continue.
I'm getting good at it. Okay, 27?
And why are there black bars?
Because there's no data in those fields, and I will no longer put black boxes there.
You just
I
leave them-
I didn't realize there were style sheets on this, but that's we'll
Yeah,
do this.
I would just leave it exactly the same format so it's not distracting.
Okay, good to know. All right, so for 27, what we're recommending is a series of adjustments that are detailed in Attachment A that include all the funds, but what we're looking at here in this chart is just the general fund. That would move revenue down for all the reasons we've just been talking about, for the things that have gone away. And we're estimating that to be roughly 5.8 million in 27. And that with all of the expenditures, salaries, and services and supplies, including the items that you wanted us to price in from the April 7th meeting, that would create an expenditure budget of just over 7 million. And so the deficit in the adjusted budget is $1.165 million. That would take the fund balance from 6.1 million down to just under $5 million. So here's what.
I do have one question on that. So
Okay.
I think at the last meeting, and I think Mayor Juan, you brought this up, we were going to sort of separately recognize the use of reserve funds, right? Kind of an itemized.
Yep.
Right, so it doesn't show
Which,
extreme deficit spending, because most of those, I believe, were like one-time
Correct.
expenses.
so, and we'll detail that out in a second here,
Okay.
but what we did do is, because the reserves are within the context of general fund, you've got to bring them in to be able to then move them out to the, where we put most of these things were in the CIP budget, so that everything had a discrete budget. That was the direction that staff was given last time. So for those CapEx type expenses that we identified, we created new, or intend to create, once, if you were to approve this, separate CIP projects for those other items. So they would be accounted for there separately. But in order to bring that those reserve funds in, we'd bring them into the general fund and then disperse them to whether it's the capital expenditure or CIP fund or whatever fund it might necessarily go to. So that's why it shows that way, because the revenue comes in there first before it gets distributed.
Okay.
Does it come in as revenue, or is it just an interfund transfer?
You're going to post it as revenue.
I mean, it's a credit, but
It's a credit.
doesn't it go to interfund transfer? Like,
That's the mechanism for it, is an interfund. Yes, you are correct.
so it's, I mean, technically it's not revenue.
It's a source.
Sure.
It's a source of funds.
Okay.
And it has to live in a fund. So yeah.
I mean, I get it. For the purpose of recording, that's how you have to move it. But like for a presentation, like when we're trying to communicate an overall message, it would be nice to isolate it, to show. For presentation, for essentially like for management reporting, it'd be better to show that presentation.
Okay.
I had a question on the revenue reduction on the recommended. It's only a decrease of 58. Is there other things going on there besides the 215 that we identified earlier from the ROPS or whatever? I forget the acronym.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that.
Yeah.
The successor agency.
Shouldn't it be at
Because
least?
for 27, if
Shouldn't it
you
be at
said
least 215?
And again, I thought
Unless
it was
we're
more
netting
than
against
that.
something?
Well, I think what we're netting against is, some possible growth, even minimal growth.
I mean, we're going to get the 2% assessment on the property every year, right? So
We don't get 2%.
sorry, I pay 2%. We get a little bit less than that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
No.
So whatever that represents.
Yeah, it's a pretty small number. It's
mean,
citywide. It's
Mathematically, it should be 2%, as long as the assessment is up 2%. It's just
not everybody gets reassessed every year.
really.
Prop 13, it gets reassessed when you sell it.
No.
And
Every
then,
year.
And then if it's reassessed for new, there's a 1% increase that's allowed as baseline.
My property tax. Okay, wait. So I could be confusing my percentages, but there's a limit on Prop 13 how much your assessment could increase each year.
1%.
It's 2%.
2% increase. Okay, 1%. Okay, sorry.
I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
she's crazy with you. Yeah.
2%.
Yeah, I got it
There's a
backwards.
2% riser maximum
Maximum. Right.
on your assessed value,
Right.
of which the base rate is 1% that readjusts upon time of sale. So,
Correct. Okay.
so if everyone's property tax is going up 2%, in theory, it's probably some blended rate based on sales and maybe some values don't increase or whatnot, but who knows?
Yeah.
Then our apportionment should also rise by a similar percentage.
And generally, we calculate.
So I guess I'm trying to answer the question for you.
Yeah.
And I think that the delta between the 215 and the 58 should encompass some revenue growth in property tax and the VLF in lieu of as well. Like, it would be nice to just see that, to like have
Okay.
that narrative here so that it tells the story, similar to what we were saying earlier. The matter of context would help the reader, because as we go through this exercise, anyone looking at the document will also try to mental math it out, and they may come to a different answer, but it'd be nice if we just make it very explicit for them. So.
Okay.
So where is the 215 for
It's-
2027? Is it
It's
in
there,
there?
but it's offset by
By other
revenue increases.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mathematically it would have to be.
Yeah. And it's in the detail sheet. I
Yeah.
mean, you can really go through and you can see there, if you haven't looked at the detail sheet yet, it has the adjusted budget on the left, the adopted budget toward the right, and then we've got the delta, the variance between them over to the far right side.
Okay.
So we're also just anticipating a lower growth rate. Again, I think the resale of homes is not nearly what we were imagining. Interest rates seem to be kind of stuck. And so I think those reassessment through sales, as I'm driving around, I'm not seeing a lot of signs. And this is the summer selling season in theory. So I think we've taken kind of a conservative approach on revenue growth and for sales.
Very quick, how many signs do you see? Because I see several more than you're seeing.
Really?
And I drive around the city regularly.
I think
And
this
if you look at the data,
Yeah, this is a question for Deb.
Yeah.
things are literally selling, maybe not as quickly as they were a year ago, but within 30 days. Yeah, they're moving.
All right.
And there may be less units. I mean, the data will show, but I mean, historically, we sell between 90 and 120 units a year.
That sounds right. Yeah.
So if it's significantly different than that, then you'd probably see a difference. But if it's right around the same with even a little bit of variance, and then you add in, I mean, some of these prices are kind of out of this world. So, it kind of balances out a little bit.
So in addition to that, we continue to look at, on the expenditure side, the continued savings on some of those changes in positions that we've taken. So I think, we're cautious on that, though, because I think next year we go back into negotiations on contracts. And so there'll be some pressure there. We've lowered a lot of the IT subscription rates. That'll be happening in the first quarter of 27 due to that switch to Civic Plus. Ends up being neutral, but we're having the double expenses now. And so that double expense will go away, and it'll just be the singular expense with Civic Plus. And then this proposal or recommended adjusted budget for 27 also keeps all the special revenue funds balanced, and including the LMD. And really, the budget changes in those other accounts, in those other funds, are pretty minimal from.
Can you elaborate on the 600,000 adjustment on expense side for FY27? There isn't a breakout of that, and I'm interested in knowing what that is.
Yeah, on what the biggies were.
Yeah. Is that the one-time spend that you had mentioned earlier? Like, is that a component of it? Because that's where like separating them out is very helpful.
Yeah, so some of that is the elimination, the downgrading of some of the positions and whatnot.
Well, that's salaries.
It's on the salaries, but you're.
But on the service and supply line, it's adopted at 1944 versus 2574, so it's 610.
Yeah.
So it's a big number.
So we know 90 of that is the decline in the subscriptions.
What? I don't know what that is.
So we're not going to have $90,000 worth of subscriptions that we currently have, and so
But this is unfavorable variance.
Go into there, yeah. Oh, the 609. Okay, all right. Sorry. So I think. I mean,
it's okay if you don't have it, but I mean,
I don't have it off the top of my head. I think those were all to the good. Yeah, let me get back to you. Let me look at it. I didn't really break that down in the same way I had on the 27.
Because for the 26 year, you have like a narrative that says,
Right.
Here's the components.
Yeah.
For the 27 year, we don't have that.
Can I ask you a question? What, Fund 220, what is that? Project costs $591,000.
220.
Are you looking at the detail?
I am.
Awesome.
That is, I just had that chart up. If I can, let me stop the presentation real quick and look at my.
Fund 220?
I mean, it just says fund, and then maybe a code will help, 7520?
Well, no, just the
Page 6 of 7?
Yeah, just the 220 is what I need.
220, isn't that?
There's several
isn't that
220s.
CIP?
Yeah, there'll be, no, it's Measure J funded
Measure
programs.
J.
Measure J, so it's road programs. 220 is Measure J. There would be several, because those are then different line items within 220, different kinds of expenses.
So I think Councilmember Tillman was asking about code.
7520.
7520.
Project costs?
Yes.
$591,000.
Right.
What is that?
So that would have been some parts of the road program, I would think, the neighborhood paving program, because Measure J was a major component of that.
So help me read this detail.
Yes.
We've got the adjusted amount, and we've got what we adopted on the right side.
Correct.
Is that flipped?
That's confusing me.
Yeah.
So
Here we go right to left, and the other we go left to right.
So we had adopted the 591, so is that a savings then, since it's not on the left side for the adjusted balance?
Yes.
Why is it a negative and not a positive?
Are you looking at 75?
I'm on page 6 of 7 on
Yes.
my screen, right, of the.
Yeah, I'm with
So
you.
I'm looking at, I wish they had, there's no,
220, 7520, project
Yes.
costs, there's nothing in the adjusted line,
yes.
right? And then there was something, I'd have to find out exactly what that change was.
Yeah, so there's nothing on the adjusted side, which means
Right.
we're no
We
longer
wouldn't be spending
doing it.
anything.
Which
Correct.
means why is that not a positive number, a positive 591? To me, it looks like it's a negative 591, but if we're not,
Because we're subtracting it from the expenditure budget.
okay.
We'd be subtracting, if we zero it out.
I switch budgets, I guess. Hold on.
Wait,
Wait a minute.
Hold on. I see what you're asking. I don't know if we switched the labels of the columns.
We did not. This is how we've been doing it.
Because we have a significant spend for Measure J, but why would it go to zero on this project? What project do we anticipate that we're
So-
no longer doing?
This would be the second year of the thing. We haven't programmed anything for the second year of the road funding. You haven't had a CIP, new set of projects. You had projects, all the street paving, as I gave you the example, was approved for 26. They're going to technically happen in 27, but they're happening with $26. You've been on a biannual road program for how long? Many years.
Yeah.
And so this is year 2 of that biennial program. This is one of the things that, this is a fix to something that was not fixed a year ago.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep asking the same question again.
Okay.
I don't know how to read this detail. I'm sorry. So
That's
I'm looking
okay.
now I'm looking at 202,
Yes.
has the same code of 7520 project cost, but it was 710,000. What are we looking at here?
So-
Is that a different year?
No, 202 is a different, that's RMRA.
Thank you.
And so it's, any of the road programs, many of the projects in the CIP that were pavement-oriented or streetlight-oriented are using a mixture of RMRA, Measure
Measure
J,
J.
right?
Okay.
So we can go back to the CIP and tease these out, which exactly these dollar amounts were, but I'm going to bet dollars to donuts that we back these out because it's the second year again of the road program in Clayton.
Okay, and so then as I'm looking down at these other codes that mention all of the ones you just mentioned, for example, it's Fund 303. And they have next to them, transfer from Measure J, transfer from Huda gas tax, transfer from the grants, transfer from RMRA.
Right.
What are those numbers?
Those are all so 303 is where all of our capital improvement projects live. That's the fund that they all live in.
So the funds from those other line items, 202 and 220, moved into 303?
Would have moved in 2026, yes. But there was because we collect the monies as revenues, then you move them in the second year when we're actually programming the projects.
Dennis, may I also ask you what the balance is in our SURF fund? We had about 700,000 at one point. Have we used some of that already for
We have. yeah.
vehicles?
For vehicles, we still have earmarked 171 or 175 or something for the library refresh project that are
Came out of
programmed
SURF?
in there, yes. So all that's in there. And the balance is 700-ish.
Oh, still?
Still, yeah.
Still 700-ish. And that's there almost for,
Yeah, you'll see in the attachment B I did for the projects that you asked us about last time, that we use SURF for some of those projects. In particular,
Attachment
yeah, which is, that's kind of how we saw it too.
oh, I see, Huda SURF,
Yeah.
Huda Measure J, got it.
So, and those are actually on the top of it. It's a good way to talk about Councilmember Tillman's questions about where's the funding come from for some of the existing CIP projects. We listed some of those funding sources, Huda being another one of them. You actually, in that one, you see the 26 paving projects and restriping for Monterey Parkway. That has the most significant mixture of all those different funds for those particular projects. But let's see. Any other questions?
I have questions. Okay, so now you have me looking at this detail.
That's okay.
So I'm looking at page 48 of the agenda packet. This is the beginning of attachment A, which coincidentally is also labeled page 48. So that's odd. Okay.
There you go.
Towards the bottom 2/3 of the page, it says total adjusted revenue 7.008 and total budgeted revenue general fund 5901. You see what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Okay. So this makes me think about the prior discussion we just had about the $58,000 unfavorable on revenue. This represents a $1.1 million favorable on revenue. So how do I interpret that?
So I think part of what you're seeing there is the effect of, on the very top row on that page, the 32, line item 3201.
Yeah.
Part of what you're seeing is the transfer in for the 1.165 for $1 million for the projects from the reserves.
Oh, so we're reflecting that as revenue.
Correct.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. So that's weird, but I see the math, but it's weird. And then whenever we have a schedule like this, can we foot all the columns?
Sure.
Because like half the columns aren't footed, and it throws off my sense of order.
Okay. So we'll fix that for your sense of order. It'll help us too.
All right. It means have a total subtotal at the bottom. Let me foot it. Okay, I think that's my question here.
Okay. Anything else? I'll go back to the slide deck.
Back to the presentation.
So just to put I think we covered all this. If you want to go back, we can. Now I wanted to move on to discussions of the reserve funding for some of the projects you identified at the last meeting. This slide represents kind of the conglomeration of all of those amounts and the source of the funds for each of them. So you'll notice that some of the firearms, tactical gear, and the computer that gets installed in the one police vehicle, we took that from SURF. The contract for the cameras and whatnot for the Grove and for Community Park, we took from SURF. The emergency operation plans, we found some money there from SLESIF, the grant funding, for law enforcement programming. We found the right amount unused in SLESIF at this point. And then almost everything else, we connected back to CIP, just because there was capital projects, again, using the reserve for those funds. And then also the permit tracking software, as well as the body-worn cameras and the service contract that goes with that, we're identifying as general fund expenses, because that's going to be an ongoing cost for the contract there, and then the fund balance from general fund for those out years. And I will say this, I mean, technically, we don't have to transfer the amount for the 28 deficit because we're not facing that. So we've listed it there more for reference. So we won't, this doesn't include moving that amount of money over to cover that.
When we talked last meeting, we talked about certain CIP items as well. I think, I'm trying to remember what section of the discussion they were in, like the sidewalk components. Where do those end up here?
So at the last meeting, we did not receive clear direction to proceed on that sidewalk project that was listed on the options.
No, we did. I'm talking about the Four Oaks Lane sidewalk that you were getting an estimate for.
We have that funded separately.
That's already funded.
In the CIP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just asking like where,
Yeah.
I want to make sure, I don't
It's
want it to fall
not, it's not
off.
new on the list, it's existing.
Right. Yeah. So this kind of adds to the CIP. It doesn't take anything out. So
Okay.
maybe it does.
I didn't want it to get lost.
No, it's it's there, and we've got actually design estimates and whatnot already on that, so
It's going to start tomorrow?
we could maybe start the bid next week. So these are what we built into the contract, built into the 27 budget based on your direction from last time. And then just to kind of wrap up, you know, I do say there is a soundness to the budget and some stability based on the reserve funds, but we all know that those are one time, and using them now for ongoing expenses is not a best, I won't say it, is not a good choice on the city's part for the most part. You could do it for emergencies, you could do it on a limited time basis. I would say we're probably in kind of one of those circumstances, but we need to be cautious of that. When we did the recommended adjusted budget, we had already, in the operations and maintenance side of the budget, we had already reduced the deficit by a number of other changes in half from what had been adopted last year. So we started with that, reducing those expenditures, reducing that so it netted out to a half of the deficit, about $345,000 in deficit spending, if you will. But then we added the projects at your direction at the last one, and that's why we are where we are.
Can I, for context, so if we go to the summary FY27 suggested revisions, I think it's like 8 slides up or something, no, 4. The one that showed the negative 1.11, this one.
Yes.
1165.
Is that number inclusive of the one-time spending that was reflected in the other slide?
Yes, sir.
So like this is the part that could be misleading to me, at least. I don't know to anyone else, but like I would like to see the regular deficit projected 27 and then adding a column that says one-time spend and then total, so that you will still see the same 1165, but that will break out that one-time spend. That's what we were talking about, or that's what I was poorly describing last week or last meeting, so that it's very clear that of this deficit, this component is one-time in nature. That's what I would. That to me is a
okay. Yeah, and
helpful presentation.
Okay.
And the only other question I had is when we go back to the list, can you go back to the list of the reserve project? Oh, Dennis is, sorry, Skylar.
These here?
Yeah. So we removed the library exterior painting, the 100,000 or so, but we don't have any of the library refresh phase 2 or 3 in here, right?
So I show that on attachment B at the very bottom.
Okay.
The dollar amounts for both of those. They are not budgeted in, but I brought them forward because there wasn't, I don't think, a clear consensus to add them.
Is that the budget schedule?
Budget attachment B, yes.
Okay.
So at the very bottom of the page, you'll notice I headed that currently unbudgeted, and it gives the 2 phases and the total.
So tonight you need what from us exactly?
What I would appreciate, if you're ready to, would be to approve the budget revisions, including the augmentations that you asked for on April 7th, as you may choose to further amend them tonight. Or direction to go back and do something different.
Okay, so let me I got to go back to this, to the question. So that 1165, you said it was inclusive of these items, but these items on that list represent something like 2.5 million? I'm just doing the math in my head real quick, but I'm guessing it's about 2.5 if you foot it, because every time there's a column of numbers, there should be a total at the bottom so that you can see. Every time. I think it's 2.5. So if the deficit is projected at 1.165 and this is inclusive of 2.5, I don't think it's inclusive of 2.5 is what I'm saying.
It is not inclusive of 2.5.
It can't be.
Yeah,
So what
it
is
is
it
not.
actually including?
So what's included in there are the total price of all of those pieces. So this is really about reconciling just the CIP pieces. This list also includes, let me go back.
Can you refer to which list you're looking at? I've got several tabs open.
Yeah.
Attachment
Would
B.
be, thank you.
Is one list, and then the other one is this slide.
So this is like 2.5, right? Give or take?
With the deficits.
So does it include all of you? Because my question earlier was, does it include these things? And you said yes, but I'm guessing no. The answer is actually no. It may include, maybe it includes everything but the bottom 3 lines?
It does not include the library refresh.
Well, that's not listed here.
Yeah, that's not listed.
So I guess what I would say is, I don't feel comfortable saying yes at this point. I would like to see it presented in a more cohesive way that shows exactly what we're adding. You know what I mean?
Okay.
With that layout, with the columnar layout, so we can.
Attachment B,
Is it B?
this one.
Oh, CIP. That's just CIP, right?
We haven't even really gone through that yet, but.
Okay.
Right.
Because I guess the way I would say it is, you're making the request of an adjustment for 27.
Yes.
So we should say like, this is the change that I want to make, and have at least a rough detail, not a granular detail, of what it represents and what the change is, and then break it out into those one-time things that we asked for in the prior meeting, and then whatever is operational, so that we say like, this is what our new projection is for the operational components. Like, I think that would be very clear, so then we all know what we're being asked to approve. That's just my take. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
Well, I was just wondering, could we bring up attachment B and go through that a little bit?
Where's that?
That is in the packet.
I'm in the, is it, it's not on the deck?
It's not in the deck,
Oh,
right?
wait, is it this?
Yeah, I can, sure.
Oh, I see, okay. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about this one, okay.
We didn't. And I think we should just kind of go through it, right, before we finish up here. If everybody's up to it.
The AC is working.
The AC is definitely overworking. It's in the packet. Do you see
Yeah,
it
in the
there?
agenda
Yeah,
packet,
that's gonna be
page
easier.
page 55 of the packet.
Say 55?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's so small.
I know. I was going to say, do you want to walk us through it, or
Or for
do
level
have-
setting,
yeah.
what's included and what's not included? Is it all included already?
So what we included, anything in here that was connected back to the CIP expenses from your list.
But it's
So
weird
if
because
it was in the so then we below that put in the deficit amounts. So the delta I think we're looking at are the other things from the list in the slide deck that were listed as SURF or general fund. What I was trying to represent with this schedule was how we moved at the request of the council, what we moved into basically creating CIP type funding projects that would be reflected even though they're not part of the official CIP.
Okay.
As a way to track the expenses for each of those.
So are these net new all?
No, the top $3 million is continuing.
But the
Oh, that's
but
what that meant.
But the sidewalk's not there.
It wasn't inclusive of everything that's in the CIP?
That's what was, I was like, where's the rest
Yeah.
of the,
Yeah.
when it said continuing, I thought there was a page
Yeah.
missing.
No,
Okay.
so correct. No, these were the things that, I can't remember what we put up there. But they're continuing projects because they're basically underway.
Okay, and then the 2027, the next section, are some of the things we talked about at the last meeting that we said, yes, we want to move forward with, and those are coming out of general fund reserves.
Correct.
And then how are those, and that's 2020, well,
They would be for 27.
27, so the next reserve usage is to cover deficit,
in different years, so.
26, 27, 28.
Right. And all we would be doing for 26, we're going to technically need to use at the end of the year, right? That one. 27 will be for the budget year, so we would use that in June of 2027. If we have whatever the deficit is at that point, that would be earmarked for that. And then the same with 28. In June of 28, we're putting aside $476,000, but we wouldn't need to touch that until June 30th of 28.
So just two questions. If we agree to this entire list, which I don't know if we're going to do that tonight, none of it is affecting our reserve policy at 40%?
If you recall, I had a slide, it's in the presentation, where I do the calculation on what the reserve policy is and what the estimated reserve balance would be at that point.
Yes. Let me just go back to the presentation.
Right.
And then library refresh, being we haven't started phase 1, which will be starting this fall, we can always talk about phase 2 and 3 at a later date, right? Unless we want to make a decision tonight.
If I may, on the library refresh, after my meeting today, there were a couple of requests to add some electrical in the teen study session and a floor outlet in a general area. And for those two, we're probably looking at about $20,000 max to do that. We haven't explored it. We don't know what's under the ground, kind of a placeholder. That's the only thing I would offer up as an additional for this evening, and I just found that out today. The other items, we can hold off till a later date and decide what we want to do.
Okay. And Dennis, I see your summary page where you say for 2026, yeah. But I mean, so my question was just the 40%, like we're not, Yeah.
We're not close yet. We're not close yet.
okay,
We're getting, it's closer. Yeah.
closer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I got to ask you about this. So the top of this one is stuff that's continuing. The 27 new are stuff we're considering adding. Where does the sidewalk fall in?
It's already funded in the existing CIP. We don't have to do anything else with it.
But isn't that the same as the stuff in the top?
Not all of it. I mean, and
How do we delineate in the items that are included in the top section?
I think what I need to do is bring back the entire CIP. That way you'll see that all those are in there still, and that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, because just being really clear on what are we being asked to add versus what's already there
Right.
would be really helpful.
Okay.
Because I think the new section is not even all of the new, it's just some of the new CIP, right?
It's the ones that we made projects within the CIP section in the fund because they're CapEx projects.
Okay.
I want to separate it. I kind of want to separate those out because what I heard last time was a desire to kind of track those separately to make sure that they're kind of contained rather than just putting them into a line item budget for service and supplies, for example.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But I would have completeness so that we see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe if I had another section here in between the CIP projects and the reserve usage for those other things that are funded from SURF or SLESIF and whatnot that are on the other slide deck chart.
I would just focus on the ask, right? The ask is, hey, can we spend more on these items?
Okay.
Can we change the budget? And so it's really, that's the driver. You want to change it from X to Y.
Okay.
So do the walk.
Okay.
And then you could see if we had X, here's Y, here's all the differences when you get from here to there. You could even do like a waterfall or whatever, but.
Okay. Yep.
And then it becomes very clear because here we're like juggling between 4 different schedules that have different intents, like one's CIP, one's not. I mean, it would just be helpful to just have a walk.
Okay. Can do that.
All right. So I'd like to see that before we take action, because I think it makes it more clear what we're taking action on. But that's my take. I don't know if you guys feel
I agree.
comfortable with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I was ready to move on tonight. So you want to wait? I understand it. And I don't know that I need to see the same thing again.
I don't understand it. I need to see it again, please. Thank you.
Okay, so did you have feedback that you would like to offer? Okay, so I think that's.
I'll defer to your judgment.
Okay, thank you. I think you have what you need at this point then?
I do. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, public comment. I think we need to take public comment. I did not forget. No. So this is item 8D. Do we have any comment on item 8D? Seeing none, I will close public comment on 8D. We will move on to 8E. Now, we will begin our workshop in a moment as we take a. We'll take a 2-minute recess.
I thought this was a workshop.
I don't have to, but just to be fair, I'll give us time to adjust and shift gears. You're what? The one that I keep mentioning?
Yeah, that you keep mentioning, and I'm very interested to know.
Recording stopped.
So what I would recommend is you send an email and then staff could address your question, concern, or comment. There's a couple houses.
No, but none of them are actually like affected by this. Like they're all side yards, and I'm not. So, and we're on the garden tour this year.
Are you the one that has the? Oh, cool. Please send your questions to staff, and they will address it. Fine.
Are we going to adjourn it for a moment now?
Just, I wanted to let them.
I would like to have future agendas like we were having at estimated times on all these items.
If I may be slightly snarky this late at night, I would like more than 3 days' notice that I'm going to be the clerk. So I hear you. I agree with you. I get what you're saying. I'm just coming a little bit of slack, if you'd be so kind.
People an idea of how long these.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm just not a lot of notice, so bear with me this week.
You're good. I would also like a drink right now.
Best I can do is water in the back.
You need to go to the bathroom? Oh, you did? See how much I missed you?
I can hear Jeff talk all night. I'm thinking next meeting when we do this budget, 10 minutes, and that's it.
Hey.
Why aren't you doing?
All right.
Recording in progress.
And we're still going back to the GAD. After. Not now, after. Okay, so we are back, I think. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we are back. So this is we are moving on to item 8E, Echo. This is a workshop on transaction and use tax and landscape maintenance district renewal. And in the interest of time, talk very quickly.
You got it. Happy to do so. So as we've been discussing for a while now, 1% transaction use tax and also the LMD renewal happening simultaneously. So the workshop outline that we have here, revisit a little of the history, options that we have for the 1% and council direction, some ballot language options. We are not trying to lock those down tonight. This is a starting point. I just want to make that clear that this is kind of to wordsmith and build and change for both of them, and talk about any changes in the LMD ordinance, if there are any that this council desires to make. So as we've discussed for the last 2 hours, revenues are growing slower than expenses. And we're burning through some money. And so with a 1% sales tax measure, that equates to a little bit over $1 million is the estimate we've received from HDL. Extending the LMD, what we talked about last winter with council with the LMD is an increase in the assessment by 10%. So that is something still out there to decide. So transaction use tax ordinance options, some of the things that the council has the opportunity to discuss and decide upon are the length of the extension. What we talked about in the past is in perpetuity. I have mentioned at other meetings that there are cities that have put forth a tax measure for a period of 7 years, 10 years, because Amazon's coming, Target's coming, they're going to bring in this massive revenue influx. We won't need the tax measure any longer. We are not that city. I know. I'll call Amazon tomorrow. But so without the new money coming on the horizon, we recommend that moving forward with this would be in perpetuity, because there is no savior coming in terms of development or, retail outlets, point of sale from a distro center, any of those things. With this, much like the TLC, Is there appetite for an oversight body? Currently, this is a general fund tax. The money goes directly to the general fund. You would automatically be the oversight committee, but is there interest to have a separate body as an oversight? It could be a newly formed body. It could be an amended FSC group. It could be a variety of different things, or it can be the council. That's part of the discussion. And part two of that was who is the body? If you're going to create a body, how many members are you going to look at putting on there? And what are their roles, responsibilities? How often are they meeting? Are they just looking at mid-year and the closeout on the new budget? What does that look like? So it's a full development of the oversight. I will stop there and turn it over to you for discussion on those few items that I just went over.
Thoughts, questions?
I do have one. On the transaction tax language, is that set in stone or can words be changed?
Nope, this is just a jumping off point.
Okay.
We're going to workshop the hell out of that.
What's that?
We'll
No,
workshop it quite a bit.
It's pretty good, but I'd like to see some different words when we're ready to do that.
Okay.
Hopefully you use AI to generate this.
So do you want us to answer the things on this slide now?
Let's
Yes.
give feedback.
Yeah, provide
Okay.
feedback.
Anyone have any questions of staff before we talk about feedback?
Well, the one question I do have is the oversight body. Can you describe the roles of what that oversight body would do? And I didn't realize it could be the council. I thought it might be community members that came together. So what does that mean, oversight body?
It could be. It's somebody who's going to review that the money's being spent where we say it's going to be spent. What's unique?
After.
What's unique about this is it's general fund money.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's not, so I'll use the LMD as an example, the TLC, that money has to be spent on specific things. You can't pay police officers with it, right? So part of the TLC mission is to review the expenditures, make sure that the money was spent inside the district for district purposes. This is a little unique because it's general fund money, so there's really no
Right.
strings attached to it.
But this isn't the community body that you said could form if they wanted
No,
to?
no.
And okay.
No.
Yeah, that's what I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So-
This is after.
So if it's after the election, why couldn't we use the finance committee? Those are citizens.
I think it's at the discretion of the council
Yeah,
in
because
how we
they're
propose the language.
Correct.
But I would say having an oversight body of general fund money is silly.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We shouldn't have any,
Put
we
it with
should
the
not have
finance.
an oversight body. Because it's general fund. There is no, the only rule is that it's for legal purposes. So.
Right, and why involve
what are
more
they gonna-
people into
what are they gonna
the
do?
task of oversight?
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think, like,
People feel comfortable when there's an oversight, they're looking at it. I
It
see
would-
it everywhere, school districts.
yeah, but those are specific purpose.
Uses.
This is general fund. So if you look at other jurisdictions who impose a general fund sales tax, it's not a thing.
Okay.
It could be. We could do it and just have someone do
cities
bureaucracy.
I wouldn't even guess on a percentage of what cities do and don't.
Exactly.
But-
So that would be my take. You guys can offer, but for a general fund that has no limit, there is no restriction other than for legal purposes. The oversight body has no activities.
No, you're fine. I would agree. And the other thing that I would ask us to consider is every time that there's another committee, that's staff time. So how much administrative funding is coming from that to have to oversee us spending what we're already doing? That's the other component. So I'm a no for an oversight committee for that purpose.
But could we change our mind a year from now and say, you know what, maybe we should, or no, we can't?
Once it's on the ballot,
Okay,
you have to
so-
reballot
You
it.
got to
Okay.
make it in the ordinance.
Okay.
So that answers the who is the body question for me. Except it's the length of the thing. Do we want a limited term or one in perpetuity? I think our city manager just recommended in perpetuity, but it's really discretionary. So,
The 1% tax?
yes. Some places do. I've seen that as a
Yeah, but we
time
don't, we're
box.
not getting an Amazon here, that we're gonna need that.
Yeah.
We're gonna
In
need that money. It's already shown we're gonna need.
I agree.
In perpetuity.
Yep.
I agree.
Question, what body were you referring to as the oversight body?
The finance committee, which we already have.
These are finance
No,
committee?
the Financial Sustainability Committee.
Just to look at.
Oh, you're finance sustainability.
Yeah, that's
There's a different, that's a different body.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and
to
all
look
you
at-
have to do, it would seem to me, is change the scope of its authority, you know?
But they would have no activity related to this because there's no limit to the use of funds.
We just look over and see what was spent.
But we
They could
do
just
that.
come to a meeting.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
They can come and speak at the podium and give their input during a meeting.
It is bureaucracy.
Okay,
So,
I'll go with it. I'll go with that.
all right.
And my only comment about this, and I want to get this on the record, 1% equals $1 million is optimistic. In times of economic turndown, people are not going to be spending and buying things that incur a tax.
Agree.
So my uneducated guess is it's going to be somewhere between 400,000 to maybe 750 at the maximum. That's my view. You guys are more smart than I am.
We should bet the line.
Pardon me?
We should bet the line and see where the over-under is. Sorry.
Well, I asked you a question last time, and you couldn't give me an answer.
No,
Well-
I think the only data points that we have are our current sales tax base and a rough estimate provided by, who do we use for?
HDL.
HDL.
There are certified smart people.
And we've asked them several times.
They are certified.
HDL are
yeah.
certified smart people.
HDL. We've
Yeah.
asked them several times and they keep coming back with the same number, right? 1 million.
Yeah, so I don't know we obviously haven't engaged them to provide consulting services for a specific estimate, but I think their general consensus was in that ballpark. It may be less.
Yeah.
It may be more. And that'll be the case for any sales tax. It is variable, so.
It's going to fluctuate.
Yeah, a lot of spend that incurs sales tax is discretionary. So I think, yeah.
So.
So you good?
I am
Yes.
good.
All right, cool.
In their packet, sample ballot language, because you've stated in perpetuity, that will have to be included into the ballot language because you have to state the term of the measure.
I was just wondering why there was a question mark at the end. Are we asking people?
You are asking a question.
You're
That's
asking.
the ballot language.
the ballot is a question.
It's like
It's a
Jeopardy
question.
style. You have to pose a
Jeopardy
question.
style. Who is?
That's not good enough.
No, it's got to have perpetuity in it because it'll either say a term of 7 years, 10 years, whatever the term is. Yeah,
We'll let the lawyers tell us what's required.
absolutely. Do you want me to read this to you, or how would you like to proceed with perceived ballot language? You can set up, you can ask us to bring something back, add something if you would like to create a short-term ad hoc to wordsmith the hell out of this. We can do that as well. I turn it to you to how you would like to proceed with the language.
The language, I would recommend we give you general guidance on the components, and staff utilize their expertise to come up with language, and then we bless it. Like us forming a committee, we'll do the exact same thing and take more time.
Agreed.
And what's the maximum amount of words?
70.
Is
It
it
is
75?
70. So we're at
75.
69. 75.
Oh, it's 75? Oh, just
We got room.
Can you write it forever and ever?
Please provide.
I know that song.
Okay, so, which one? Oh, this one. You are, which one? You on this?
transaction.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It covers everything, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay, we're moving on to LMD, and you want the same feedback?
Yes. So this is the language. Did you change anything? I can't remember.
No. This
is from 2017.
Ignore that one. We don't
Move to
need
next
that.
one.
We're just talking about the current. We're not living in the past.
Go ahead, you did this one, so I'm gonna let you drive.
Okay, so on this one, again, we have up to 75 words, so we've got a few more to do. But this would add in the residential parcel amount and then the per acre, which is our current practice for larger holdings, would be that they charge per acre for non-residential properties. And so this would include that language in the ballot measure itself. I put in the current rate now, but one of the parts would be to add the 10%. That language is not baked into here yet, to add that new base setting, additional 10% one time that was discussed by the council previously.
So a couple things on this one. We have a riser on the LMD
I was
every
just
year.
gonna say
And
that,
this doesn't
yeah.
include that.
You know, it does not, it's in the ordinance, but it's not in the, it was not in the previous ballot language, and so I didn't include it this time.
So we're gonna let the lawyers decide if it's required to put a riser in the ballot language?
Because they didn't do it in 2017, they didn't do it in 2007.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Okay.
But let's go on a go-forward basis. If a riser is required, I think that's a question.
Oh, mention of CPI or whatever.
Yeah.
And is it a CPI?
That's what we have it
That's what we
now.
use now.
So it's CPI or 3%, the lower of, right?
Does this one also have a 75-word limit, or is it 70? 75, okay.
Yeah. So that's one. Where is it? The
acre versus the parcel?
I would rather it say per parcel only. It says per residential parcel or per acre for non-residential parcel or portion thereof. You could limit a lot of words and just say per parcel.
So what that would do, if we take out the acre thing, it would change it for commercial, non-residential properties.
Yeah.
And so that would change the dollar amounts collected.
Agreed.
How much money does that
tremendously
risk us losing per year by doing that?
I think probably overall in the city, 75,000.
And then we do the 10%.
And so we do the 10%, we're going to gain 140,000. So half of it we would be.
So we're resetting the base to get the amount that we need, having the riser, and then having an equal distribution versus overweighting large parcels.
Okay. I mean, that's
that'd
Why
be
is
my
it,
feedback.
what do you mean overweighting? They're paying the same amount.
No.
If they have
No, they're not.
No. If they have more acres, clearly you're going to pay more, but why would they not?
So that means that if you own a large parcel, you are paying a greater proportion of the maintenance for not your parcel.
Yeah, it's per acre.
Well, yes, that's what the calculation is.
Yeah.
But, so like, if you, theoretically, the assessment should be connected to your ability to use the services that the district is providing. So if you own a large parcel, you're going to pay more than the person next to you that's in a residential parcel.
Mm-hmm. That's how it's been.
That is how it's been.
So we're gonna lose money if we
Your
change
mic
it.
is not on.
It will shift the balance of payment for sure,
Yes.
which is why we're revisiting it and to see, is the current balance fair? Is that equitable? To have someone who has a large parcel pay more without an increase in their level of use?
Well, when this was written in 2007,
Yeah.
I'm sure the council at that time considered that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they did. Not saying they didn't.
And they wanted to do that because they
But-
needed that money to run that district.
Well, that's why we're
Granted, but
reconsidering it, yeah.
it's our prerogative to revisit, right?
Well, we
So-
can revisit it, yes.
Yeah, so that's That's what I'm talking about. And there are, to me, it's like, it should be a function of the usage of the services in the district. That's why, like, if you're a family of 4 in a unit versus a family of 4 in a different unit, you don't pay more because your house is bigger. You all have access to the trails, and you enjoy the benefit that the assessment district provides in terms of landscaping and maintenance of the medians and whatnot. The larger, someone with the larger parcels is very similar. They don't use more by virtue of they have a bigger property. Now, that being said, we tax them more because we can, but I don't necessarily think if they have money, then we tax them is a good way to do assessments. So that's why I think that results in an inequitable result. That's my take on it.
And so and I agree with you, but my question is, the 303.72 is what we're paying now. What would be actually going on the ballot?
So I want to come back and make sure we want to do the 10% riser.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last time.
Right, and so we would do that. The other thing is, I need to figure out when the next CPI hits.
Okay.
And
It's usually
then
in
put
March.
So if it's in March, then it's, so it doesn't show up on their bill until December, for the December tranche, right? Payment deadline. So they're actually, like, the auditor controller would be calculating now what that new number would be.
Right.
Yeah, they
That's
get the
what I was
number, when do we
That's
get our
what-
property tax bill, like August?
I think you usually get it like September, October.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then it's
but
due-
the calculations are usually done in July and August at the county.
Okay, so that's why I was asking, would we use the 303.72? Or,
I think it's the CPI. I would like to try to figure out what the CPI amount is for this year that gets added to that,
got it.
and then add the 10% riser on top of that. If the council agrees to that. That was a point of direction from you. I think that's fair, rather than missing a year of CPI.
Yeah.
And
BLS is scheduled to release CPI May 12th.
Can we go back for a second on the parcels?
Yeah.
So did you say we would lose $75,000?
77, yeah, that's a reasonable estimate.
So we would have to reduce what work we do there. And
There would be $75,000 less available to do work.
Not with, no.
No, because we're adding the 10%.
You're adding 10%.
Right, but if you add the 10%, I mean, that still, if you added the 10% to everybody, then you're still missing out on 75,000.
Sure, but the
Okay.
net is not 75, negative. The net of this, all the activity, if we do it as described, would be, what, if you said 140 before?
140 would be
It would be
with the 10%.
favorable,
So
50.
you'd lose, yeah, there'd be half.
No, because the baseline is now to then, so it's a favorable 50. The two components are favorable 140, unfavorable 75. You net them, and the net impact of what that would be
50.
would be 50.
Isn't it
Favorable.
more than 50?
Or I'm just using the numbers that you,
About 70.
so it's a
About
net.
70,
Yes.
right.
But I think of all of the weed abatement that isn't getting done throughout the year, that people complain about all the time, that could be getting done with that additional funding. We already know that that's not getting done, and it hasn't been because one, it was locked in for 10 years. Two, it never was, except for the CPI, it was never increased. So we're talking 1997 prices plus the CPI.
No,
This
it
is a-
goes up every year.
I understand that. I said plus the CPI. So by increasing it to 10%, which I agree with, why would we not try to add more to it? And I'm not saying charge somebody more because they've got, like, punish them. Pay per your acre.
But it's not
If you're-
maintaining their acre.
I understand that. We all maintain our own property. This is the trails and all of the landscaping in the city. We already know that has not been, especially the trails, has not been addressed. And the weeds, we can address a lot more, especially given our conditions with our insurance, et cetera. I'm talking about all the homeowners in the new fire maps. Why wouldn't we try to get ahead of that in the next 10 years when we know it's not going to get any better? I think that we should have that extra money coming in. Why would we leave money on the table, I guess is the best way to say it.
But it's not that we're underfunded.
I didn't say
right?
we were underfunded. I'm
I mean,
saying
we're
there's
not-
work we can't do. We're working within our means. We would have more means by doing this.
But would we do, I mean, we need to use the money that we have now, right? Including money that we've left on the table the last couple of years. And maybe that means hiring other contractors. Maybe that means,
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a fair, it's not necessarily, should we do more question? Like, we could always do more. The question is, how do we fund it? And how do we fund it in a way that's fair? So if we want more money, or we need more money to do more work, then we all share in that burden. The way that it works out now is we don't share equally in the burden. So if we ultimately decide we should have X amount of funding, that's fine. We set X amount, or we have X plus Y, whatever it happens to be, we can establish what that target funding level is. The target is independent of the methodology that which we acquire it. So if we say it should be X, we could just say, well, I'm gonna take it off on Dennis. That would be unfair, and Dennis should not bear the burden of the entire cost. We should all do it equally.
But when you say right now we're all not sharing in the same cost, we do currently.
No.
How do we not?
So if you own a large parcel, you're one person.
Are you talking about the new verbiage? Because currently, right now, it's.
No, in the current verbiage, if you own one, like, if you own a residential parcel, you pay a flat rate, 303, whatever, let's say. Okay. If you own a commercial parcel, you're still one person, and it's larger, you calculate by acre.
No.
And it's
I
variable
thought,
rate.
so you guys are going to have to explain to me then, because I'm looking at page 75 or 6 in this presentation. It reads presently, well, this is how it was in 2017, I guess. Yeah, 2017. $234.84 per year per residential and non-residential parcel or fraction thereof. How is that not everybody's paying the same price per parcel?
This is the language that was on the ballot.
Yeah.
And
This is not the way that it's
but
assessed.
it's not the way it's assessed. So
who's assessing it?
So there's a so who's assessing it is frankly the auditor controller, because they're the ones doing.
Mr. Kramer.
But they're following the ordinance, and it's in the ordinance that lays out for non-commercial, it's by acre.
Okay. So the
if it
ordinance
was this
has
language,
page
I guess if
7's
yeah.
language. That's why I was like, what do you mean?
Sorry, I did not provide the appropriate context. If it were this language here, X dollar per residential and non-residential parcel, that's okay, because that's the intent, or that is the result. But in the way that the current ordinance is, it creates that discrepancy. And the ordinance is what the auditor controller uses, not the auditor controller, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
but the county, the assessor, is
County.
it the assessor?
They assess the property value. The auditor controller puts all the fees on. So that's-
So back in 1997, sorry, really
Yeah,
quick,
go
just so I can. Back in 1997, when this was originally put in, our ordinance stated, what's on page 7? The per acre for non-residential? It's 76. It's 7, yeah.
No, that's the proposal.
I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, so.
Your
No,
microphone's
you're
not on.
Help, I need you to.
Okay.
Let's slow down.
Okay.
What is on page 75? So the page before this one, it's page 6 in the presentation deck.
Yes.
Can you go up one slide so we
the
can
Measure
display it?
Age 2017 page?
Yes.
Okay.
This one.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay. Sorry. This
So
is way easier.
that was written in the ballot, and my question is, was that language ever in our ordinance? That's the first question. And if you don't know the answer to that, I guess the better way to ask it is the language that is on the following page, page 7, where it breaks out parcel versus acre, which I was just told was in our ordinance, when did that go in the ordinance?
Okay, so in the ordinance adopted in 2017,
17, thank you.
this is exactly the ballot language. This is what the voters saw on their ballot the day they voted. But in the voter guide was the ordinance. And the voter guide and the ordinance allowed for this different rate for commercial and residential property. And that's where it established, used the same dollar amount per parcel for residential and per acre for non-residential in the ordinance.
Who wrote the ordinance?
I was just going to say.
And
why would it be different than Measure H? I mean, why would it be different than the measure? It doesn't make any sense, right?
I'm gonna always blame the lawyers.
I was in Santa Barbara.
But that is a city ordinance?
That is a city
So it
ordinance.
was passed by a city council,
Yes, sir.
and they had a reason to do it.
And was approved, technically was approved by the voters. Yeah, approved by the voters.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to why would we change it then? If it was approved by the voters, why would we change it?
On slide 7 now, this is just something we mocked up for discussion today. And I thought this was a way to put before the voters clearer language about what the ordinance actually says in practice. And that's why I made this slight edit, and that's why I highlighted it as an edit that actually better describes what the practice is.
Because I think realistically, all the voters will read the ballot language.
Yes.
But they're not going to read all of the ordinance language. They could,
Agreed.
it's available to them. And I would say, as a good citizen, they should. However, maybe not.
Yeah.
So if we, the intent or the ballot language in the prior iteration was not consistent with the ordinance. And so I'm okay with keeping the ballot language and changing the ordinance. Or some form to get to the result where the parcels are treated equally. That would be my
And how many
Desire.
non-residential parcels are we talking about? Do we know?
It's, I don't think it's even 3 figures. I want to say it's 90-ish,
Okay.
And what's interesting on that is because it's the language or fraction thereof. So if, let's say, their parcel is 0.10 acres, they would pay 0.10 of the 303.72 this year. So
So if they don't
Yeah,
even
there's
have an
there's some
acre.
puts and takes.
yes, there's gives and takes
I
in
think per
the.
parcel is cleaner.
Yeah, just make it
I
per
just think it's
parcel, and then
cleaner.
everyone's on the same footing.
So that will be an increase for a number of
No, yeah,
let's say
yes,
the
for-
downtown businesses would see a modest increase. But outside of that, where there are larger assemblies of parcels, then and so the acres would add up, they would see a significant decrease. So
What was that, Mala?
so she was making the point that then it's not a proportional benefit.
It's not a proportional benefit. It's a flat rate, just like it is for all the
Right.
residential parcels. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Maybe the key point is the residential parcels are typically more uniform in size.
True. I'm actually trying to look up our ordinance on our website, and I can't find it.
Can,
So-
Can we think on this one and, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have to make a decision
Okay.
tonight, and
Okay.
Dennis and I can work on, are there
Okay.
any other options or anything, a hybrid that we could, I don't know. We
Okay.
can look at something.
Yeah, and it would be nice, I mean, I hate to give you more work, Dennis, but I would like to know how many non-residential, how they would be affected versus what they're already currently paying. That's the part that,
Right.
if this is what they're already paying, why are we changing it? Do you see what I mean? They've been doing it for 10 years. What is the problem now? That's what I'm wrangling with.
I
They've been
mean,
doing it for 10 years.
If there's a history of inequity, it's never wrong to revisit and say it should be more equitable.
I don't disagree.
opportunity.
I
So that's
don't
why.
disagree, but I don't see anybody complaining about it. And I'm trying to understand why we would do that now. Again, and I'm going to go back to leaving money on the table. They're commercial properties and there are residents. They're not equal. I don't think that they should be equal. They're different entities. I could see if you were saying, well, that
Why
guy up
would
there
they
on the
pay
big hill
more?
has a larger house, he should pay more. We're not doing that. They're different entities, different structures.
but why would they pay more?
So
Do they get more of a benefit for
if
being
they
a
are,
business?
sure, if they are, I'm going to use the trails, for example. If they have more of a footprint towards the trails, then yes, they should pay for more of that maintenance for those to be maintained.
They pay for their own property. This is no.
I'm not talking
yeah.
about their property. We're talking about the LMD, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
what this
this
is
is
for?
LMD.
Right, so you've got all of the city fronting spaces and you have all of the trails that have to be maintained. If those properties that happen to be commercial properties are fronting more of that, or the trails, they should pay more.
Why?
Why wouldn't they?
Because they have no greater use of it.
But they've got people who could be coming through those areas, maintain them more. We're maintaining them for them, but they have more of a footprint there. Why wouldn't they?
That was been my argument. I agree with you. If I'm coming down Clayton Road to go to the golf course to play golf, and that's all I pass is weeds and rocks to get there, I take a bad look at that town. But if it's nicely kept,
Right,
it's a compliment to the golf course.
right. Those commercial properties are drawing people to the town.
That's right. They're drawing.
That's
people.
my argument for it.
Well, and they're paying taxes for that and,
Sure.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to sleep on it. Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
I'm getting tired
So,
of it, too.
Yeah.
we can move through the options, length of extension, 10 years again, same as prior extensions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think people like the 10 years.
what's that?
I think people like the 10 years.
Yeah. We'll skip the base because we need to do some more work on that. Oversight right now is the TLC. Maintaining the TLC, the next question is the number of members in the TLC, if there's any adjustment or amendment there, or any change you want to make to that body.
5.
Yeah, I don't know, where did 11 ever come from?
Just as they expire.
5.
Well, this would take effect after it goes in the collection, because it'll match the ordinance, will be the timeline and the cadence of
Was it
resetting.
at July 1st, 2027? Because I think it sunsets June 30th.
Then it would be July 1st, yep.
Yeah.
Consensus on 5?
It doesn't matter to me. It's been 11. Well, I would like to know the rationale for making it 5.
Hard to get
I
a
think
quorum.
it's just hard to get a quorum, hard to get, yeah.
It hasn't been hard to get a quorum, only a couple times. All the other
Okay,
times we've had a
They
meeting.
only meet a couple times a year.
Correct. Well, they meet more now. But there was only last summer when we couldn't get a quorum. I think there were 2 times when we couldn't, maybe 2.
Our Financial Sustainability Committee is set at 5. I don't see the reason for 11 people.
I think the larger group makes it more unwieldy.
Yeah.
I
So-
think 5 is a good number.
I don't think you're supposed to have an opinion, sir. Uh-huh.
One is too few. You need an odd number. 3, you could run into issues. 5 is the next lowest. It should be the lowest number. So that'd be my take.
Maybe an alternate or two, too, that can make the meeting.
I don't know if you could do that.
I don't know if it's
I don't
necessary.
know if that, I don't
I
know
would
if
like
that's
to
allowed.
sleep on that
either.
one too, please, and think, because what I want to do is go dig in the history to figure out why they had 11.
Yeah, 11.
I want to know.
I'm thinking it's because they had, when they formed that landscape trail, that was going to be big and they wanted more people.
Oh, possibly.
When this first formed, it was called the Community Service Commission. I think I've told you. I was one of the original members. There was 5 of us. But that's before the landscape, so we had other things to do. But not, landscape came, I think they thought that was it is big. They figured they needed more.
You still currently in your municipal ordinance have a community services commission that
Awesome.
is not in existence. So there could be a reworking of TLC in this commission. But again, that's policy decision that we can bring back and have a discussion.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
More is less. No, that's me.
More is less.
Less is more.
Confused in all this now.
Yeah, and
No, 11, yes.
the last piece on this, we were just trying to suss out with you about whether you want to keep the description of the district the same. Is there anything you want to add, subtract, multiply, or divide in this?
Excuse me.
Just, or keep it the same?
I have no changes unless you have recommendations.
I would keep it as is. As is. As long, it doesn't, that's it. It doesn't say how often that work will be done. That's
No.
all determined by the amount of
Yeah.
funding that's there.
This
Okay.
is the purpose of the
Okay.
district,
Yep.
basically. Okay.
Looks good.
And then next steps, going through that calendar, I'm not going to read that to you, it's in your packet. Kind of the timeline of what we're doing leading up to November 3rd, and we will bring back some of these items as you have requested. So I'll turn it over to you for any questions or a public comment.
You're,
I'm turning
you're
it back
stealing
over
my
for
thunder.
you. It's late, I'm trying to be of assistance.
Okay. Public comment,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Thank you for going into detail over all that. I didn't know what the LMD was prior to tonight. Trying to find out online, there's a lot of words that go around, and I wasn't quite sure.
You've been paying for it for 5 years.
Yeah, I have.
$303.
Just
Unless you own a
some-
business.
Some ideas I've had based off of your dialogue tonight. I do agree that commercial properties are different than residential properties. Because they are not supplying a place for people to live who would then use the trails, maybe they should, for that reason, pay slightly more based off their size. And because I think a lot of the businesses in downtown Clayton are smaller, it's actually rewarding them for being local, small businesses by having them pay less since they're paying by acre. I would like to see, as a resident of Clayton, a breakdown of all of the commercial properties so that I can more easily make that decision. This is just going off of my intuition and walking around the neighborhood, but I would like to see that data. So if that could be provided to the members of Clayton, that would be greatly appreciated. I guess that's all I have about this specific issue right now. I have other issues, but
You have
I don't wanna
your
go into
whole
them.
time. You can talk about whatever you want.
Well, thank you. Okay. Well, if that's the case, there was a lot of discussion tonight about one-time uses of specific funds. I think it would be interesting as a resident to see possibly a list of revenue-generating sources for those one-time uses. So I'm thinking of the baseball field. Adding a baseball diamond to the fields could possibly be a revenue-generating source. And I'm just curious if there was a way for the public to be involved in coming up with ideas for new revenue-creating sources to use those funds instead of just using them on something that, I don't know, that's a one-time use and maybe it doesn't draw in more people to the neighborhood to spend money or more options for people to like reserve picnic tables, or do we have tennis courts that we can add, or a soccer field where people could reserve it and spend money and it could be a long-term revenue generator? Okay, I think that's all I have. Thank you so much, Council.
Thank you. I would just say property tax rolls and the assessments of each therein is public information, so we should be able to get a table that shows very clearly.
Yeah, I think that's
I've
along the
seen it
lines of what I was
before.
asking for, yeah.
Okay, so no other public comment? Closing public comment on item 8E. Thank you. Is it 8E? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so does staff have sufficient direction? And is our expectation that we are coming back with this at our next meeting to talk again? Or when is the next time we will talk again?
Future meeting, we need to look at the schedule of what we have.
Okay,
I thought
because
you
I'm
just
looking.
had a May 19th
I'm looking
deadline.
I'm looking at the calendar. It says May 19
May
finalized
19th.
ballot language, and there's only one meeting between
Right.
now and then. So are we coming back with this at? I'll re-ask the question.
We have
Are we
to.
coming back with this at our next meeting?
You have to?
You said that May 19th, the ballot language is due.
No.
That's when we
It's not due to the county until August.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
not due until August.
Okay.
Yes, we have,
August 7th.
yes, we have time.
Okay, I misread.
Well, that's confusing.
I think the intent of the schedule was to bring back, based on your direction, something more
Thank
finalized
you.
than what we had today. Today was to talk about it.
Okay.
Now
So
take
we
all
will
of
talk
that.
about this again on May 19th. I'm just going by your calendar.
We can do that.
All right. So we will not talk about this on May the 5th.
Sure, we'll have other things to talk about.
Sure. All right. Cool. So that is the last item on the regular agenda, and I will adjourn and turn back over to our GAD chair to continue the item that we did not talk about the GAD at the beginning of the day. He probably needs a moment to switch over
Yes.
to do the recording correctly. Peace out.
Recording stopped.
Did you guys get this? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Do we know who provided this to us? Not the weed one.
You're stuck with us all night.
I will bring you a Monster and a loaf of French bread, and you can take that home and give it to her.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Okay, it's 10:30 PM and we're continuing our jihad meeting. We left off with the GAD meeting. We received the report, and so now we're into questions for the council.
No, we were done with the report.
We asked that, okay?
finished,
Well, then, okay, then we're on number C, authorize the city manager to sign a contract with engineered soil repairs incorporated for $30,331 to repair the horizontal drain system from Keylock Way to Golden Eagle Place.
You can get them a discount for $300.
Is there any questions about this, or?
You couldn't get them to.
You could not get this estimate.
Discount it
So
by
we-
$331.
We wanted to bring this to you and the community to understand that what they voted for and they're supplying funding
so that's
for,
a good
we are
value.
doing the work.
Got it.
I am totally cool with this, but can we create an inventory of stuff that we're gonna do over
Yes.
some time period and
With
say
the
like,
costs.
here's 8 things that we planned.
He's
Here's what
gonna
it
do it.
costs and here's when it's
gonna do
coming?
Yeah, yes, we can.
And then include this and say like,
Yes.
we're knocking it off our list?
You have that.
We do?
Actually, the report that Cristiano, that we gave as an attachment, in that surveillance report is a prioritized list of the maintenance
costs?
activities with, it doesn't necessarily have costs, it may have some costs, engineering costs,
It would
but
be
they,
nice to have
the
that.
list of priorities, and so I just wanted to
Where?
say that we're
in his
knocking off the top 4 priorities right now. We're working on those, cleaning the V ditches, inventorying the sections that are failing because they're being eroded.
Where's the prioritized list?
It's at the very end of that report, I believe.
Yeah, is it in the conclusion?
I believe so.
That's not a prioritized.
You mean in the presentation?
Items needed for compliance with updated plan of control, is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
sir. Yes,
Where?
ma'am.
What
It's the
page?
conclusion. It's page 25 of 26 of the presentation deck.
This one.
So Key Lock is one,
Oh,
Bullet,
yeah, that's
Pebble
not-
Beach is another, and there are 4 items under each. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're already doing the video survey and clearing the blockage of horizontal drains, locating
That's
and
been
checking?
done.
Yeah.
Oh, it's done?
Done.
So is
As
this
a-
a complete list?
And I'm confused. I'm
That-
sorry.
That is their complete list from the engineer's perspective. And we've begun to work very aggressively to do those. So for example, getting those drains surveyed
Oh, yeah, you
with the
said
camera.
it broke in there.
Yeah,
Okay, I
doing
see.
the camera up there, all that thing. And then they went and they first hydrojetted them to clean them out.
Right.
And so in the proposal today, because of what they found in that video surveillance, they're recommending actually dropping the pipes a little bit so that and replacing the failed sections so they drain better. They're basically flat, and so as you know, water's not gonna move
there's
through
no-
those.
got it.
So this will increase the angle for the water to drain down into that better. It'll actually keep them cleaner because the water will flow more consistently.
Right.
It won't have that. So for 30,000 and change,
331.
you're going to be able to get a better functioning drain system, and they'll clean out all the rest of the sections.
Perfect.
Great.
That sounds great. As a project plan, a list with cost and time.
Yeah,
That's
timeline.
what it should be. Like,
Yep.
here's the cost, estimate time,
Okay.
Q1 2028, to whatever it happens to be.
Yep.
Because the voters approved a body of money, and we're gonna say, here's what your money's buying. It's not gonna buy it all at once, but it'll buy it over time. And like, I didn't know that we're gonna do new piezometers and inclinometers. So if that's on the list,
It's going to be on the list. It's going to be a minute because
That's
those are $300K each.
yeah.
So-
So maybe, and it should be a prioritized list
timeline.
in terms
Yeah.
of,
Agreed.
this has the ability to prevent the most damage. So we want to do
Right.
that now.
Well, and that's why, again, I asked that, like, the assessment was December, but we have done some of this work already, and I wanted us to be able to share that.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, currently, the GAD has a negative balance.
It's coming.
But we're getting $150,000 into the GAD tomorrow.
Perfect.
There you go.
So when you have the list, you'll have a starting point now or whenever, after the approval of the funding, you create your list, and every time you do something, you make sure it stays on there, and you check it off. This was done based on your funding. And it shows that like, hey, people, this is what we're doing. and what you're buying. And I think that's a great message to share.
And so I just have another question, sorry. So that was the confusing part when I read this. So this is dated March 27th. He talked about the work that he did, things got stuck, we talked about that earlier. And then the additional work that is going to be the $30,000 is only what's under these remedial repairs, the five things?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, which 5 things? What page?
So I'm now in the Key Lockway horizontal drain inspection and proposal. It's 5 pages.
It's the attachment for C, not the attachment for B.
So it's not the letter, right?
It is the letter.
It's the letter.
It's
It's
in
the
the
end of
letter.
the letter.
End of the letter.
Page 3 in the
Three-
middle of it.
3 of 5
3
at
of
the-
5. It's got specifically, we propose to do the following work: horizontal drain remedial repairs.
Wait, where's that? Sorry,
I'm actually in the attachment, not in the main document, sorry.
Oh, the proposal?
Yes.
Okay,
It's on page 3 of 5 of that. And it reads, there was, above the concrete vault at Golden Eagle Place, some work that was going to be done, core new holes in the concrete
see.
vault, replace the lower 10 feet of the 2-inch diameter horizontal drain pipes, backfill the excavation with, and remove all the construction-related debris. And that plus all the labor and equipment, et cetera, is $30,000. That's great. I have no problem with that. What paid for the work that they did already?
We're covering it just now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
With
I mean,
funds from the GAD?
Well, it's being charged to the GAD.
Okay.
It's being charged to the GAD. And so as we get the revenue in, but we paid the bill. So just.
I
'cause
guess
you-
what my question is that bill is different than this 30,000.
Yes, ma'am.
How much did that cost?
15.
Less than 30.
15.5, less than 30.
Okay.
So don't you need approval for a greater number? Because it's 30,000 doesn't include permit and third-party inspection fees, and they're going to do it and then bill us?
We control the permits, so we're not going to charge ourselves for permits. We don't do that.
Oh, inspections?
Inspections, they'll be able to self-inspect. It's not a life safety issue. It's a current existing
Okay.
installation, so, yeah,
The contract says third-party inspections, which will be billed at cost.
yeah. Okay.
So
If you want to prove it for 35 or 36, not to exceed 36, or
just whatever, I would approve the contract and what it costs.
what it costs, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Because it also says nothing has been included for landscape repair, and yeah, I would.
It's in the part where we weed whack it it's up on the hillside at North Valley Park. So it's outside of the landscaped area.
Okay, so I'm gonna tie this to the agenda item so Mala's happy. She's not gonna be happy. But one thing, does this include remediation work of all the encroachments into the GAD that has been done by residents that were identified by
This
them?
this particular contract does not do that, but I can say.
How are we addressing that?
We are addressing that through our code enforcement officer and myself going out and visiting these people. They've all been notified, and we're out talking with them and inspecting what they've done.
Some of these are repeats from the prior pictures.
They are absolutely repeats. We've gotten information where these are things they've done for 15, 20 years. And let me just say, I want to say this. I will be very brief. People have been really good about addressing the concerns.
Okay. You got it. Thank you.
Is that brief? Okay, good.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, we
Public
need a
comment?
motion. Oh, public comment. Don't see
Public
any.
comment.
I got you.
I'll take a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved in second for approval that authorizes the city manager to sign a contract for $30,331 to repair the horizontal drain system from Key Lockway to Golden Eagle Place. Please,
Before I do have a question for Mala, just as a point of order, where Councilmember Diaz did not start the meeting, but showed up to the second half. Can he still vote? Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't include or exclude him the wrong way. So,
I abstain.
no, since I called you out, let's ask you first, Councilmember Diaz.
I'm in an abstaining mood tonight.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding you.
So can you put on your mic and officially say,
Yes, I'm with it.
Mike, though, please, sir?
Microphone.
Well, first you have to pose
Affirmative.
I think you
Okay.
have to ask the question, right?
Okay, Councilmember Diaz, sorry. How do you vote?
Affirmative.
It's board member Diaz.
Sorry, board. You're right, board member Diaz. No, you're right. Make sure I go in the right order then. Board member Juan.
Aye.
Board member Trupiano.
Yes.
Vice Chair Tillman.
Aye.
And Chair Ania.
Yes.
Right, the motion carries 5-0.
Okay, with that, that completes our agenda, and we are adjourned
At 10:40 PM.
10:40 PM. Thank you for attending.
I need a snack.
I need a lot more than that.
Recording stopped.
It's like an ice box. Oh, you're.